Are we live?
It's not showing.
Did we do something right?
Or maybe it's just a lag. Let me exit.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if we're live or not yet.
If you guys can see us, say something. I don't know. We're supposed to be live, but it doesn't look like it's actually on.
Oh, are we live?
You don't have your other phone connected to
No, I don't think so. It's not connected. Let me turn this off. Let's see if we're live.
Let me see.
I don't know. It says live. You're live.
Oh, did you not do...
Oh, now we're live.
They're coming up.
Are we live?
Oh, we are live.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it's not working on mine.
They really changed this. It's not like it was. It's quite horrible.
Oh,
okay.
Did it go to another thing?
I have no sound. Is that what it is? I have no sound. Hold on. We'll be right with you. We're having technical difficulties. Okay, there's no sound. Ooh.
Mom, what do you mean there's no sound? There's no sound.
On your phone? Where's your sound?
I turned it down.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to hear it on your phone, don't we?
No. Why do we need to hear it?
Okay. I guess we don't need to hear it. Okay. Okay.
Can't listen.
Okay. I guess you can say hi to everyone.
I still feel like this is a different live chat, though, than we're supposed to be on.
Well, it is what it is because it changed. Yeah, because I've got it actually here on my screen.
Yeah,
hi, everyone!
Well, it's still saying it, but it's not showing on this one. So you're on a completely different live stream.
Oh, no.
Everyone's having to, rejoin.
Oh, no. I don't know where we are, but we started the live stream and... Can you tell them to find me? Because I don't know... Oh my gosh, what in the world?
I can go back and try.
Oh, can you go in there and tell them we're on a live stream? But I don't know what live stream we're on. This is terrible.
Look, it says upcoming, and this one says we're live.
Okay, that's terrible. I really don't know how they did it. It's horrible. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Let me let them know just in case.
Please go back in and join the live stream because somehow we got a different live stream.
Other stream. Please, everyone, back out and join.
Yeah, this is terrible.
We are live. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Hopefully everyone on the live over there. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
I'm just trying to
I don't know how we got on a different live stream when we were supposed to be on the one that we set up. Eeks.
Wait, now it's...
Are we on the wrong live stream?
You know what's weird about this? It's literally...
Okay, are we on the right live stream?
This is going to have to be it for now. I just hope everyone was able to join it so far.
Well, we are on it because look.
Yeah, but there are people missing in here. That was on the other one.
Oh, no. Okay, are we on? So are we on or I don't know how that works.
Yes, we're on live, but we're not on the one we're supposed to be on where everyone else was at.
How am I going to get those people over here?
It's okay. I sent a thing to try and get everybody to come to this one.
Oh, no.
That's okay. We're just going to have to start. I don't know
Okay,
what else to
just
say.
tell them, please go to the other live stream. This one's not working.
I did.
Oh, no. Oh, we're being neglected. Oh, boy, we have a lot to talk about today, but somehow we're on two separate live streams. It's quite terrible. So is this the same thing that's popping up on yours that's popping up on mine? The same live stream?
This is a different one, I guess. Did anybody have to switch over that you know of?
I don't know.
If you did, just go ahead and comment, you guys. Oh, there was a problem. Now it's saying it's,
Oh, no.
maybe it's because that one maybe ended and they're now coming to this one?
Okay, now let's see. Okay. I see Carl and Hippie Shake. And actually, we should start at the beginning. Is there a way? I don't see Arthur.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
how do I get those people over here?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Oh no.
I said something in the chat, but I'm hoping everybody has seen it so far, but I don't know. Everybody, go ahead and comment if you want. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in caps. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today.
Yes, we are. How do I get the comments off of this screen? Because it's in black for some reason.
Live chat, and then I can even go to none. You don't want the comments, right?
Yeah, I don't want the comments.
Okay, it's hidden.
Okay,
So I have the chat here, so-
does that mean everyone can still chat?
Yes.
You're not cutting off their chat. Can somebody
No.
say something?
It's just for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Gosh, I'm so tech illiterate. It's terrible. I'm never using my phone for anything really. And I don't own a computer or what have you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start saying hi to everybody. Hi, Andromedan, Nana Nene, LT 1785, RN2, Hippie Shake, Elderberry Love, Scott, Odin's, Raven, Lisa, Keith, let's see, Michelle, Brian, Rico, or
Hi.
Rico, Sandy, Carl, Summerhill, Justin.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah. And let's see, I think we got everybody. Lake Oz, Alicia, and Michelle, Eva, Penny, thank you for all coming. And finally, Arthur, Xanthus.
I don't know what happened. We had a live stream scheduled and no.
Oh, well, Arthur said he was watching from the beginning, so.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're going to be doing a Q&A today. Please feel free to ask anything and everything that you want to know. If you have any questions, I'm here now. Please ask me now. I have a list of things that we will be talking about. It's quite a bit. So in between what I'm going to talk about, if you leave me questions, I'm going to answer them, and so will Wendy. It doesn't matter how long this lasts. I want to get through everybody's questions because of the last video I had done on the brain and spinal cord beings, and I had gotten a lot of questions about it. Xanthus had gone back, which is Arthur, and did a whole description, but I want to talk about that some more today. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about it, some new things came in because of questions that were posed me and made me look deeper. So at that point, I can absolutely talk about that. You'll have to put your live chat on your phone because I took it off mine so you can actually see.
I have mine on. I just need my charger because it's
Okay.
going to die if I don't.
Oh no, go around my head. And I have my little pin here that I'll be writing stuff down to if I can think of some other things.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing we should probably talk about, since I ended on my last video about the brain and spinal cord beings, a few more things came up about that, and we're going to talk about that now. Okay, first off, you know that this is a sim. So starting from there, oops, yeah, the thing is,
It's moving.
yeah,
Let's try
we'll do the best we can. So starting from there, I wrote down, of course, there's the 4 types of beings inside of this sim. You're either an NPC, which is a non-player person, just like a video game.
It's a program running, basically.
Basically a
part of the
program
set.
running, right.
We'll just say
But
it's a part
the
of the set.
programs running are divided in 2 types. One type is an instant type where you go somewhere and you have all these people because you went somewhere to an event, to a theater, to whatever, and they're only developed for that moment. And then you have the other ones that are developed and you get involved with them and all of a sudden they got a family, they got a life, they got a career, they got all this stuff because they're being, you know, made to be more, to be interactive with you. So those are the 2 types of NPCs. Then the next thing we have is a projection. That would be me. Someone from the outside projected into this through a data stream. And there's a lot of us in here too that are projected into this for various reasons. Then the next one, I should do this one first. I had written these down. The I guess the brain and spinal cord beings. I guess I wasn't very clear on it, but there are two types of brain and spinal cord beings. The one type are the ones running this entire
simulation,
and they are the ones that are in control because they have never been wiped. The other type is the majority, and that would be most people where they had their brain and spinal cords ripped out of them, and at that point put into an individual jar with probes and wires and hooked up to the sim. Now, they're the ones that are really running everything, believe it or not, even though the corrupted ones are the ones influencing them to do whatever their bidding is.
But they might not even know that they're brains and spinal cords.
No, they don't. They have no idea that they're brain and spinal cords.
So the ones that know what they're doing and know what they are that are creating in here, and the ones that don't even realize that's what they are and they're creating in here.
And then, of course, the last one are the beings that are stuck in here.
Yeah.
And they're like your orbs, or they can even be some beings like whatever, ghosts or what have you, and they're stuck in here. They're not a brain and spinal cord, and they were at one time projected, but somehow they were severed from that, and they're literally stuck in here. That's also the dark ones, too, the really dark ones. They're stuck in here because they have no connection either way. Now, there's something interesting I found out about the brain and spinal cords. We were talking and we wanted to find out who is actually running the sim, who is doing the true creating in this sim. And this I did not see before because I never really looked into it. The NPCs, they don't create anything. They're just a reactive group of beings. They can react, and that's about it. And they'll react and then go their way and then react. And they're the ones that keep getting reset. And it's like, no matter what you do, it's a record that's broken. It keeps resetting. Oh no, it's over for them. They're just NPCs. Then there are the people like me who are projected into this, and all we can do is influence. And that's because we're not connected to the AI. And so we're not connected to the AI. We're in the AI, but we're not connected. So we're
not actually creating this reality.
No, we're actually influencing. Now, we can create on a small level in our own physical world, but we won't have the whole creation of the masses because we're not the brain and spinal cords. We came in to basically, for a lack of a word, infect with higher ideals. So this place could be raised to a better reality. If this place does not make it and we can't change this place will be annihilated. And it's as simple as that.
And that's why it's becoming so chaotic with, a lot of people now are waking up and seeing the truth. And a lot of people, are still indoctrinated because now things have been influenced to the point where people are now creating, and they're creating a new reality.
And the sim is having a huge problem.
This is why it's glitching and having all kinds of issues.
Because the sim is always designed to give you what you focus on, what you want, because it's a thought sim. But when you have 1,000 billion thoughts going different directions and they're not even similar, the sim will break down. Of course it will. It doesn't have the power to compute all of that, not all of that.
Right.
So that's why you're seeing the glitches in the matrix, why everything is glitching. So basically the ones projected in like me are here to influence a higher reality, because this is us trying to save this data, trying to save this technology, trying to save this reality so that it can go to a higher reality and can be saved, or it's going to be deleted. They won't have a choice. We'll have no choice. This is us trying to fix it here so it doesn't have to be completely deleted. And that's the big one too. And of course, the brain sticks, which is the brain and spinal cords. You've got the negative on one side, just a handful, who have really done everything they can to the rest of them. It's quite horrible to get their negative ways. Now, Wendy, you need to talk about what you came across the other day, which I will be posting that into this when it's over. That thing on your phone where you sent it to me about what they wanted to do.
Basically, of course, you've got a lot of distractions and you've got a lot of things that are being covered up, and of course, they're putting out a bunch of crap. So, for example, this whole transhuman thing, the way they're making it sound is, genderized and doing all this different crap. But in reality, what it really boils down to is, they've even admitted this, it's not that. It's the whole transgender is they want no more, they basically don't want anybody to have corporeal bodies anymore. They want our bodies to be completely gone so we can be completely infused with AI, and that's who and what we will be for now on. This is also a part of the 2030 agenda. This is what they're trying to do. This is why they introduced, these. And unfortunately, a lot of people, because there's so much stuff going on, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. In reality, it's none of that. It's literally, they don't want us to leave this place. They want us to be connected completely to AI, and they want us to be subservient, basically, to them and to the AI.
So this came across on Google. It was a whole thing about what they want and what they foresee. But what they said was they wanted the corporeal bodies to be gone, and they want you to live forever. Eternity.
They want you to be immortal.
This is what they're selling. This is the brain and spinal cords selling this. And it's like, oh no, who wants to be a brain and spinal cord living in a jar for eternity?
They also said, well, some of the examples is, well, you would be like a golden retriever now, where you would basically listen and obey everything. And at that point, you would also you basically wouldn't question, and you would go along with it. And they said, at the same time, our brains would get much smaller compared to what they would be today.
Our brains are a conduit to source. And of course, what do you need that brain for if you're not going to be a conduit to source anymore, and you're going to be a conduit to AI, because you'll be directly hooked up to AI. You no longer require that brain for a conduit to source, because AI will be your new source god.
So also, apparently, it's been going on for a while now, and I've heard about it, but I never knew that it was already implemented. I mean, they actually have cryogenic labs in America and other places where people have literally killed themselves, and they've put their bodies into these cryogenic, cylinders, and these bodies are being frozen until they say, when technology reaches the point where they can be unthawed and come back to life. It's just crazy to me. But the fact is, Mom had mentioned something when I told her about this. She's like, well, think about it. They had to kill themselves in order to even do this, because you're not going to want to be, frozen in a really old body. You're going to want kind of a younger body. Well,
and here's the thing. The second you die, you're not in that body anyway.
No.
So you're going to be cryonic. I don't know how you say it. Cryonically
no.
frozen, or I don't know what it is.
Well, whatever. Genetics, or
whatever
it was.
You're going to be frozen, but your being is going to be gone anyway. So it's a money scam.
The whole thing was insane to me. I couldn't believe.
It's just a money scam.
It was crazy. It's like, I thought zombies were bad, but this is just as bad, if not worse.
So basically, I came across that article. Well, I didn't. Wendy gave it to me. We came across the article yesterday that was posted on Google, and I'm like, are they now releasing this because I'm talking about the brain and spinal cord beings? Most likely. So I thought that was amazing. I'll be tacking that onto this once this is uploaded. I'll add that into the description. So it was amazing. Now, here's the next thing we're going to talk about. This is a big one. We're going to talk about vrills. Does anybody know what a vrill is? Oh,
the vrills, yeah.
Okay, would you like to start on the vrills, or do you want me to?
You can. That's
okay,
fine.
So I wrote the vrills back here. Okay, so when I went and I remote reviewed, and I said, what the hell is a vrill? I've always heard of the Vril Society, but I never gave it a second thought because I don't really care about that stuff. And then I was like, oh my God. Do you remember in Hollywood the black eye thing? And everyone's got a black eye? That's not because somebody punched them in the eye. That's because a vril is a tiny little, I don't know what you call
Parasite.
parasitic being. And it looks like it has a little head with a worm,
almost like
lizard
tentacles.
body.
Yeah.
And what it does, it burrows into your eye. It attaches to the back of your eye where your, I guess,
cornea or something is.
yeah,
like
it's in the very back.
Yeah.
And then what it does, it has really thin, skinny, tiny little, I don't know what you call them, like
tentacles.
like tentacles, and
Right.
they go through the back of they go through your eye, goes through your brain, it goes down through your entire spinal cord, and it wraps around your entire spinal cord, and it's to control you. These vrils actually can do a couple of things. They can, one, put you out of your body completely, which is a severing of you and your avatar, or two, which is way worse. They can keep you inside of your body and put you behind, and your real being will actually be shoved out but still connected to this avatar. And if you're, depending on the vibration you're at, if you're on a lower vibration, it will keep you and use you as an energy source. So it's going to take over your body and also keep you there, or sever the connection. If you're a high being, it's going to sever the connection. It doesn't want no part of you. But these vrils, that is what that black eye thing is all about. That going into your eye and taking over you. And that vril is actually reptilian. It's reptilian. It's from the reptilian species. And a lot of the reptilians actually have these vrils inside of them too, because they overtook some of the reptilian species also, because it's a side species of the reptilians, but still in reptile whatever territory. Just like we're mammals, but we're not a penguin, and we're not a whale, and we're not a cougar or a panther or an elephant, but we're mammals. Same kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So anybody have any questions?
Let me go ahead and look. Don't forget to put your questions in caps, okay? So I can read them easier.
I will say this. I was watching Martin Leacock, I guess it was about a year ago, and he found this suit of armor with this worm coming out of the suit of armor. And I kept thinking, that's something, but I never could put my finger on it. And then when I found out about the vrils, I'm like, oh God, there's the connection. It was a symbolism to show that it was the vril running the suit of armor, the suit of armor being your body. It was symbolism that the vril is actually running the avatar. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's what that meant. And then it was like, wow.
Hippie Shake said, that sounds terrible. Are they lizard-type creatures?
Yes, they're lizard-type creatures.
Yep.
And from what I'm understanding, they came from underground. They can't handle bright light. They want everything in the dark. But when they go into your eye to take over your avatar, they don't just go in. They basically, there's not a lot of them. So they really want to have someone that they can go through for power. And the vrils are like this too. They want the avatars to be healthy so they can reside in those avatars for a very long time.
Yeah, we didn't tell them they were also in the...
Oh, yeah. In some of those injections, not all, they put... You know how they have the little... the thing that the injections come out of, the whole bottle? There's a single vril inside of that, and I think you can get like 14 to 16 shots out of that bottle. Well, some unlucky person is going to end up with a vril inside of them because there's an actual egg or something in there.
Yeah, I was going to say eggs.
Mm-hmm. Now, the vrils want to have a viable body, so they're actually being used, even against their own will, to take over humanity. But the thing of it is, the vrils don't, yes, they run, but they can be used just like anything can be used, because there's no way they would be wanting to go into a body that's been fully and it's on a deadline now of a small existence. They want a viable body that can last 50, 60 years. Vrils can also go into animals But they don't really want to go in an animal because they have a short lifespan and they're very limited. So what they want is they want a viable human being that's got a long life in front of them. And on that aspect, they're also not the ones in control either, because they would never do that to themselves. When they leave the body, they are extremely vulnerable. Yes. They're like little tiny creature worms, and they can be picked off like any predator, like a bird or a human or anything could kill them outside of the body.
And I think it's really funny how technically when they leave their bodies, that little thing that's actually being ejected from the body is a little brain and spinal cord.
Yeah, the vrills kind of look like a little brain and spinal cord. They do. They do.
No, it's the actual brain and spinal cord of the vril that leaves the body.
Well, yeah.
And then attaches to the person's eye.
Yeah. Well, it actually goes in. It goes in.
Yeah, it goes inside.
But it causes you to have a black eye.
Well, yeah.
Anybody else on there saying anything?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Is it possible to reclaim a walk-in, just in walk-ins?
Yeah, absolutely. If a walk-in comes in and he's only scheduled to be in for so long, they'll leave, and the other person will come back to whoever it was, whoever resided in the avatar. Honestly, when I see most walk-ins, once they come in, they stay. They don't leave. Probably because the other being won't want to come back. That's what I'm seeing mostly. Once they're walked in on, they're pretty much staying. But they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Let's see. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to put them in caps so I can read them.
Okay.
Carl, are there 2 basic timelines moving forward?
Yes, that's another thing we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about the timeline split, why I said in November was a big one. Of course, I should also pump this. Please, everybody, go to Odyssey. If anyone hasn't seen the last video that Wendy and I did, because it got taken down within a couple of days, and I don't think a lot of people, I think like 170 some people saw it. That's it. Because we talked about such controversial things.
Yeah, it was actually almost 2 hours long also, so it was quite a long video. It is on Odyssey.
Yeah, it is on Odyssey. Please go to my Odyssey channel. Things are being, my videos are being taken off left and right. They're not giving me strikes for it. What they're saying is it's inappropriate content, and we're not going to strike you, but we're taking your videos from you. So someone doesn't want my channel to go down, because I should have already been down several times. And something's happening where they're taking my videos, but I'm not receiving strikes.
Right.
And I have received some strikes, but basically it's just take my videos down.
Well, also, if you do go and try and find it on Odyssey, it'll be called Livestream 3.
Yeah, that was for Wendy and I the last time we did something.
Yeah, the last live we did that was taken down.
Yeah.
Also, I got another question. Hippie Shake.
Oh, I never answered Carl's.
Oh, go ahead and answer Carl's.
Let me answer Carl's. Yeah, Carl, we're definitely having, and I wrote this down because we need to talk about this. This split is happening now, of course, but I see by November, it's going to be such a wide, gaping split. People are going to be dropping like there's no tomorrow this year because of the deadline on this. Unfortunately, most people that did that, not all, but most people that did that would do nothing to change the timeline they're going to be on. They're going to be stuck. The timelines are the artificial Fibonacci, flower of life, what have you, superimposed over our reality, which is the natural spiral. Mm-hmm. And
spiral crystal.
They're starting to do this. It's starting to do this. When it pops, we're done. It's over. And we're like this close to popping, and it's going to be over. In the higher timeline split, things will just start getting better. And in November is a big one. I'm seeing a huge, like we're just at the tip. We're at the tip. We're ready. It's coming. We're ready. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Hippie Shake, is it dangerous to have blood now from blood banks since all the jabs? Yes, of course.
Unless the blood bank itself has done something where they can separate vaxxed and non-vaxxed people, I wouldn't be going to a blood bank. No, I would not.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this was all done deliberately.
Well, you also have to think, why is everybody giving their blood to the blood bank? What do they really need all that blood for? It's so they can do what they need to experiment on us as the individuals. They have different types of blood, different types of experiments, so they can take everyone down individually.
Yeah. And also, it's a great way to gauge, to see where people are metaphysically. The
That's
higher
true.
you get here,
Mm-hmm.
your blood, your DNA will naturally open up.
Yep.
And that means you'll have more abilities.
I was
And it's a
thinking that
gauging too.
because they can also see if there's anybody who has certain protections against what they're doing or what have you. You know, you just don't
We
know.
are all powerful gods, but they have made you believe you're less than. These controllers are no more powerful than we are. Their
No.
biggest thing is a magic trick. And you know what magic is? Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. And making you believe that you're less than. And that's a big one. Making you believe something that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one.
That's very true.
I do know that the split that's happening will be the shift inside of you. And that's a consciousness shift. And when you hit that consciousness shift, your DNA will automatically open up. It's not something like you're going to have to think, oh no, I have to be so happy. It isn't about being happy. It's about knowledge, knowing, and knowing the difference between right and wrong is a big one, because you carry on your DNA, it's like a moral, I don't even know how to say it. If I had to gauge this for morality, I would say, do you know the difference between right and wrong? Do you know the difference between harming, hurting, and loving and caring? It's all going on the shift. If you're a person who's out there and you really do give a damn about what happens tomorrow, what happens to the guy down the street, and you see a total stranger and you see that they're suffering and in pain, and all you want to do is help them, you've made that shift already. Because when you can walk by someone who is in severe suffering and not give a damn, you're not there. You're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else?
Keith F.E., is this one big experiment where we live? Are you meaning in the dome itself, like inside where we all are?
I would call the dome a prison.
Yes,
I would call the dome a prison. When I go back far enough and I see there was a fall, if you watch some of my videos prior, and I talk about the crystalline city beings who were here to begin with, and then they fell because they wanted to have a 3D experience. We are them. And when they decided they wanted to be, with AI, because you could have so much more experiences in AI, and they decided they were tired of their corporeal beings and they wanted another experience, a better experience. And they made themselves in the brain and spinal cord beings in a jar, having a 3D reality in AI. Yeah, that was the fall. So this place got coordinated off. Those brain and spinal cords are here. They're underneath of us. They're down below us, miles down below us. They have created avatars that they can go into, like they're doing now with all the people. Because they really can go in through AI technology and take over those people because of the AI they've now put into their bodies, making them, compatible to AI frequencies and being taken over by the brain and spinal cord beings, because some of them have decided they want to re-experience avatars again. So that's what that's also about.
Mm-hmm.
You give up your avatar. AI is great and fine and what have you for a while, but then it becomes commonplace. And then you want your avatar back, but you've already gotten rid of the avatar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dead end.
Marina, she said, I guess there are ducks in meditation. Can you explain this?
Ducks in meditation?
Yeah, I've never heard about that before.
Okay.
I have seen, I can't say meditation, but I can say I've seen some animals where they were doing, the whole head spinning and passing out, or, actually me and Mom were walking the other day, and we were finding dead animals everywhere. Unfortunately, we found a dead cardinal. It didn't look like there was anything wrong with its body. So I wouldn't be surprised if, of course, the frequency waves and the 5G and all the stuff that they're spraying and the chemicals is doing serious damage to these animals.
Yeah, the 5G is horrible. It's horrible because they're geoengineering over our head, and of course everyone knows that the geoengineering is full of all kinds of everything that's not good for you. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's another AI takedown. They've tried to take us down in so many ways. We're like cockroaches. We're really, really hard to kill. One of the reasons in the 1700 that this was reintroduced was because they realized that even everything externally coming at us would only be a small degree, because we're such powerful bodies and avatars and beings, we can repair ourselves. They knew at that point the only way to take us down was through the vein. The vein. And then they started to poison us on every level. And then this poison, next thing you know, we're all believing that babies need to be shot up with all these poisons. We're not told they're poisons, but that's what they are. They're poisons. Our avatars can take care of themselves easily. We would never be sick like that. Even if we were being geoengineered and they were tampering with our water, if we never had the takedown of this, we could combat it so much better. Look at the Amish. They don't get ill because they haven't been taken down with this in their generations.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you also go, you can even watch this on Inspired, if anybody knows who that is. You can go into his channel. He just did something, which I think he's been reposting it a few times, but it's this whole document called, I think, The Covenant, and it explains everything in there about what the elites and what these people want to do, and well, not what they want to do, but what they've been doing, and the takedown of humanity, and everything they implement to take us down, and how they call themselves the purebloods and we aren't, and how, you know, we are the ones who are basically slaves. They even say we are their slaves. You know, we pay for everything. We have to work. We are their slaves. So if you go and watch that video, he did that and reposted it today. Go ahead and watch that, and it'll tell you everything in there, which is pretty blatant. You can see it, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And as time goes by, it's going to become more and more relevant, noticeable, blatant in your face, because this split is coming. The ones that go to the higher split, and we'll talk about them red skies, we won't really be experiencing those red skies, because in the higher split, they won't be there. They won't be required. In the lower split, I wouldn't want to be there. Wouldn't want to be there.
I mean, in reality, I've discovered that the red skies is just the dome opening up, and that's what's on the outside. But the reason that would happen is for the Phoenix to come in and destroy the negativity, because we can't be coexisting together, basically.
Yeah, this is a consciousness division. And the hardest thing I've had to learn in this is that I cannot take everyone with me. I can't take anyone with me. It is on a personal basis. The only thing I can do is I can give out knowledge, and it's up for you to decide where you're going, where you're going to land next. Because in the end, I cannot do anything for anyone. I can tell you what I know. You have to decide whether you want to do whatever you want to do, but in the end, it's on an individual basis. And it has been the hardest thing for me to do. When I have people in my physical world and all I want to do is save them, and I know I cannot be the knight in shining white armor, because it doesn't work that way. This is done inside of here, inside of your heart. And I can't make you have a high heart. I can't make you do anything. It's really individual.
So let's see. The golden dragon balls. How do you know if you're on the higher timeline? When you start questioning everything, you start seeing the corruption, you're tired of complying, and you don't want to do what they're telling you to do anymore.
You get tired of work. You can't do that mundane crap anymore.
Being on this channel already shows if you're, watching people
You're
like
here
us.
for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You're already going the direction you need to go, which is the higher reality. If you weren't, you would look at this and be, poppycock, I've had enough of that twaddle. it wouldn't register. It wouldn't do anything to you. You wouldn't be like, well, let me think about this. Questioning is a big one.
That's very, very true. Is this the Andromedan? Is this the first Earth?
The first Earth? No. No. This is a replica of
Actually,
where
I
we
was gonna say
really
that
come
too.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just a replica. This is a sim. This is a replica. It's a sim. It's as simple as that. No. Initially, if you've watched my video 3, we came in here for multiple reasons, and then a corruption happened, and a lot of people got stuck in here, couldn't get out, got lost, became negative. It became a prison, basically. So, and now we're going the other direction to go up and out of this. I'm here, Wendy's here, other people you know are here to try to wake people up, but you can only wake up the people that want to be woken up. And it's as simple as that, too. You can't wake someone up who doesn't want to wake up. When they want to just comply and they want to, Jeff Snyder said something. I watched one of his videos. Well, I watched all of his videos, but I watched this one in particular. It was a bit long. And he was going on and on and on about these people will do anything to keep their comfort. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. They're the ostrich with their head in the sand. And yeah, they can't breathe well, which would be the mask. It's the same symbolism. And yeah, they can't see anything because their head's in the sand. But it doesn't stop the crouching tiger getting ready to pounce on his big body just because his head is in the sand to be safe. And that's what I think of these people. They will do anything to keep their comfort, even if it costs them their reality. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the majority of people who will do anything to keep the status quo going, to keep the comfort going. They will not wake up. They will not do anything but comply for the status quo of what they already have, even if that's not our reality anymore. And it's not our reality. Our governments are doing everything they can with these corporations, with the Vril, with the reptilians, with the elite who are running everything to make sure you all, pass away. But these people, these common people, and I call them the common people because it's the majority of people. If they don't wake up, it's because they don't want to lose what they think they got. They're so indoctrinated into their slavehood. You can't help them. No. Oh gosh, I'm on my soap opera.
Erin, how can you detox from the vax?
Oh, you can detox. We'll be talking about this too. There's all kinds of things you can use. You can use borax, which is a salt, a mineral salt. You can use diatomaceous earth, or however you say. I never can say that thing right. You can use different kind of bentonite clays, what have you. There's something called NAC and zinc. Could you get those bottles out for me?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about this right now. There were doctors who were recommending this when people first got this, and they actually had a lot of stuff pulled out of them that was put into them because of these two supplements found at any vitamin shop. This is not prescription things. These are actual vitamins.
I'm going to bring this in.
And that one too. We're going to talk about this now. This is the NAC. This, if you please research this, has so many health benefits, but it takes out the toxins too. This is a self-repairing, what have you. It does all kinds of body repairs, organ repairs, you name it. It's wonderful. Now, zinc. If you take zinc, and you have to take it with the NAC, the zinc is an actual repair too. But together, this repairs your body damage and this repairs you too. But together, they're a powerhouse. Now, I just discovered from Zanvast this morning, he had me look into this video and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's called glycine. Glycine will prevent aging, and it retards aging, and it can actually reverse aging, but it does more than that. It's a cellular repairer also. You got to take it with the NAC. Now, the NAC, for some reason, when you pair it with other vitamins, is like a supercharger. So you put this in, and they're doing studies now. This gets rid of weight. Over a short time use of 6 weeks, people were on this. I think I'll post this video also in my description link. With this, and not only did they lose a lot of weight, they had a lot of repair done to them too, which was measurable. Weight loss. And then, of course, the zinc. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking into all of this and I'm going, why are all these supplements that you can buy at a vitamin shop, why are they doing all these great body changes? And it's like, oh my gosh, there it is. There it is. When they started GMOing all of our food, they took this stuff out of our food. We would have this stuff in high quantity amounts in our natural food, is why we live for so long. That's another thing. This right here can repair you to the point where you could literally live for a very long time. And I'm talking a couple hundred years. So, yeah. So basically they have taken these things out of our food. They've GMO'd it out. And I mean globally, globally, not just in America. They started taking this food out in the 1700s because they wanted us to not live long. And it was a way to control us. It's the same thing with the vitamin B17, which is amygdalin or amygdalin. And that one, when they took it out, used to be in our wheat. And because we no longer have it anymore, now we get these cancers and all kinds of things. And they've gone and they've started taking things out to shorten our lifespans, to make us extremely sick. And then they turn around, they put us to the pharmaceutical world to keep us sick. It's quite terrible. I see the elites eating pills, barely ever eating food. They live on supplements. And Wendy asked me, well, how do we know these haven't been tampered with? Because I see the elites using these with a whole slew of other ones to get the full nutritional value of what we have lost in our food. And this is why they live for so long. They're living on supplements because it's not in any of the food anymore, because it's been taken out to damage us. So they created the supplements for themselves so that they can live a very long time and be healthy the entire time they're living.
Well, the other problem is I found out last week, too, from watching videos and seeing some of the actual research. They've now been taking the seeds of our natural foods, like our fruits and our vegetables and everything we grow, and they are taking a part of the DNA sequence out of it and putting in the COVID vax sequence, which is actually considered the protein that causes all the issues in the food. So they're now growing that protein,
which is why Bill
food.
Gates, the bot, Borg, or what do you want to call him? Actually, there's so many Bill Gates. They're all clones. Yeah. Which we need to talk about this too.
Yeah.
Holographics and masks. That everyone that you think you know that you're watching is either holographic if they're reptilian or a different species, which is still human, but it's been chimeraed, which means, cross, whatever, are wearing masks, or even humans are wearing masks that look exactly like who they're supposed to be representing, and holographics, where they have technology that completely changes.
And I think that's actually the black wrap that I saw around that reptilian that one time.
I mean, if you look into, Planet of the Apes in the 1970s, that's how good the masks were. And they have done nothing but improve them since the Planet of the Apes Hollywood. You can be anyone. You want to be Trump? You want to be Biden?
You want to be a celebrity?
You want to be anyone? These masks are so high quality and so real. When you put it on, you can't tell who you're talking to. They have a thing too where it's like
Oh, it's on their neck. If anyone has seen some of the videos that have come out on some of these people, like Biden and a couple other, like Hillary Clinton, Biden, all these other people, their necks will start kind of cringing up and moving and crazy, and you'll start seeing it. Some of them, I wouldn't be surprised, could be reptilians, but I'm going to tell you most of them are the masks because they're not real.
Yeah.
They go down to your chest anyway.
Yeah, just start researching this. It's there. It's all in Hollywood. It's not even a secret. Think of all the stunt doubles. You think it's that actor? No, it's a mask. It's not them. They're not going to do anything with their stunt doubles except use them to do all the dangerous things because they don't want to mess up their face or whatever for the real actors. And that's even if that's them, because there's so much cloning going on. It's ridiculous. We're living in a world of clones. It's terrible. And you don't need much to clone. You need some saliva. You can have a clone. Mm-hmm. I mean, the technology is so advanced and we're so dumbed down about it. It's terrible. Terrible. So, any more questions? Oh,
yeah, we have some. There's one here too. From Liesel. Sonia, you said that in November of this year, the final bifurcation of timelines happens. What do you see?
It isn't the final. It's
the physical.
It's not the final. It's close to the end. It's like this. It's not the final because the final one no one knows, but it's getting so close. There's going to be a big die-off, and it's going to mark a lot of who's going where, because this is all about who's going where. Of course, like I said before, they won't even know they're in a different reality. We won't know we're in a different reality. Things will just get better for us. They'll have things get way worse for them. Unfortunately, the majority aren't making this. No.
And it said, how do you see that happening in the physical?
You wake up one day, or you can be in your day, and all of a sudden, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. It's happening now. We're doing this. We're going up in tiers now. You can transverse into timelines in your single day. You can go down, you can go up. You can go down, you can go up. The ones that are going up are going to be less going down, but you can still be dragged down. This is why we have the mafia media doing everything they can, because remember, everything here is mental. We believe everything is physical, but it's mental. So it's a consciousness separation, and it happens in a moment. In a moment.
So, hippie shake, when I used the pineal gland frequency and woke up in an open pod with a huge black hanging cage above me, it felt like I was one of many there. What do you think it was?
Oh, I would love to talk to you about that. Let's do that now. When you left that message on my channel and I was reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to look into this. And I'm seeing that where your true essence is there in that. And that's where a lot of us are being projected from there. They're the different realities being projected into this. I thought that was amazing because I can only get glimpses of what you see. I can see through your eyes, and that's about it. I mean, I try to go back around and look beyond you, and I'm being blocked. It's like, oh, no, you can't see this. You can't see this. So, yeah, I see you in a pod. You are laying down in a pod, and that box above you, it's not huge. Because of your perspective, looking at the box, it looks huge. But it's a tiny little box. Because when I look above you, I can see it hanging there. And it's not that far from you, but it's really small compared to your avatar there. So it's perspective, because you're half in and half out. Okay,
let me see here. I just thought that was kind of...
That was interesting.
I think that's true too. Justin said perhaps the Amish are being kept as clean stock.
Oh yes, they are. They are being kept as clean stock. Hippie Shake, if you ever want to just talk to me, I have my Skype. I can Skype with you. I have my email, so I think I do have it. If I don't, I can post it because I will do Skype meetings. And I have done Skype meetings with people, just to let you know, because I really want to talk to you about that on a personal level.
Carl said, Sonia, you're taking me with you because I'm going to follow you.
I would take everyone with me if I could, but not everyone is going to go. They don't want to go.
Right. And not everyone is real either.
Yeah.
So they can't go.
I'm giving you the tools so you can leave. And the tools are here. This is what I'm doing. I'm giving you a toolbox. And I want you to use your toolbox. So when you want to leave, when you get to that point, you'll go into your arsenal of things that I've told you and use those tools to leave.
When will USA be opened for the uninjected? Aloha forever.
I heard something about, I think it was May. I think in May they're going to drop everything, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were saying May 11th, but technically it was supposed to have been in February, already been dropped, and it's still going.
This is the cabal not wanting to let it go. Mm-hmm. Because they're losing. They're losing on our timeline. Of course they're losing. We're not going to live in that negativity.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Don't forget, you guys, if you have any questions, put them in caps lock so I can read them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people haven't been, but they could have been just coming in whenever.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm looking at all the things I wrote down that we were going to talk about. Oh, yes. The DNA activation. This is really interesting. We're now going to be receiving through our own avatars, and we have been, DNA activations, which means you'll be leveled up because of where you are. And at that point, I had done a video on portals opening up where you can now, portals will be presented to you, and that we can walk through those portals if you wanted to. The portals are there. They've always been there, but they're invisible to you. You can even walk through a portal, and if you don't match the frequency, you're not going anywhere. With this DNA activation, these portals will be represented to you, and at a given point when you fully match, you can walk through. Yes, your animals can go through with you because they're already there. As your family and children, it's individual. I got nothing to say. It's just like now. It's individual. Whether you can bring somebody through has nothing to do with you. You can't do anything. They'll have to meet that DNA activation to walk through any and all portals. And just because they're children does not mean they match. Because remember, this is a reincarnation scheme. Mm-hmm. So we keep getting recycled in here. This is why we have so many, different lives and what have you.
That's very true. Yep.
This is a sim.
You gotta think, if there's a negative being and they're reincarnating, of course they're gonna have to go into a baby first or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, absolutely.
And we've met some very negative beings already that were children.
Oh, yeah. We had met a little boy who was 3 years old, and he was already murdering animals in the neighborhood at 3. Mm-hmm.
Multiple animals.
Jack the Ripper. Jeffrey Dahmer.
He actually looked like Jeffrey Dahmer too, which is crazy.
He really looked like Jeffrey Dahmer, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
By the time he was 6, he was literally jumping people's backyard fences, getting the chickens and breaking their necks, and going from chicken to chicken to chicken to chicken. This was a couple of years ago. Well, it's been about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know what happened to that boy, but I did say that he's an extremely dark entity. He was born into that avatar, and it is what it is. Get him psychological help if you can. Try to help him, because other than that, I got nothing to say. Dark is dark. Dark beings are dark beings.
Yeah.
Can you imagine murdering at 3 years old? Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. It's quite horrible.
Yeah.
I have more questions, but if you want
to go ahead. Go, ask a question.
Okay, let's
and then
see.
I'll forego this for a little bit.
There's a bunch of them, I think, but Nana, Nene, I watched lots of NDEs. Why do you think they haven't relayed any of this info? Near-death experiences.
Oh, near-death experiences. Mm-hmm. I've got 2 things to say about near-death experiences. You can glitch out of this. Yes, you can. But you are still in the sim. You haven't left the sim. If you've truly left the sim, you wouldn't be back in. There'd be a complete severing. So what you're doing with NEDs is just experiencing different parts of the sim, because there are multiple factions to this simulation. And I know that these people are like, oh, but I went to heaven or I went to hell. No, you went to different parts of this simulation. You never died. You never did, or you wouldn't be here now.
I was even going to say there could have been times where you even did die and you just ended up in another timeline, because I've even had experiences where I didn't die and my whole family thought I was basically dead and they forgot who I was.
Yes, that's another thing. With these timelines, we have shards. Somebody had asked me about shards. When we came into this place was shattered. So with the shattering was the shattering of who you are. Your consciousness was shattered and put into multiple different realities. And they look just like this reality. They may be a little bit different, but they're basically this reality. And if you physically die out of an avatar, your consciousness, that's all you are, your consciousness can join another one of your shards, one of your end pieces, because you do have an end piece also, which is the more core you, and then your shards will go into that end piece eventually. And that's what we're doing now. We're gathering ourselves. When we're always looking for someone to fill us up, no, it's not that we're looking for someone. We're looking for ourselves to fill us up. That's that need of, I got to find someone. I got to be with somebody. No, you got to be with yourself. You got to fill yourself up. No one's going to fill you up. Only you can. And it's shards. It's your own pieces that you're collecting. Except that it got twisted into a soulmate, or it got twisted into, what is that? Something where you're together forever, and it's crap. It's crap. Because we're all from source, and we were from source as a whole source. No, we didn't have another that's going to be attached to us to be a source. I did see that there was one point, there were 3 sources that were developed with the second source, but they are only 3. And they have something to do with this reality and outside of this reality. And source itself. They are rare. What do they call those people where they're always thinking they're having a partner that's their lifelong partner? It's not soulmates, because she's my soulmate. Twin flames. That is the biggest crock I've ever seen or heard in my entire life. No, what you're seeking and what you're missing is yourself, your shards. You are missing parts of you, which is why you feel empty.
Yes.
There's your emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next one.
Okay, from Seth. Why is it expected for us to wake up without more help from God, our guides, star family, to remove the multitude of propaganda and numerous mind control weapons by the dark?
Because we're basically trapped and enslaved in here.
Yeah.
We're here to get everyone out that we can, completely out of this sim. But then outside of even that, because of the Archon, if you watch my video 3, if there's anybody that's new here, when we first came out of source, the last source, because there's more than one source, the Archon, which is all negativity, came out too. And he was designed that way so he could collect us and feed off of us for a new experience of negativity. We need to get out of the Archon itself. We will grow out of the Archon. The more you know, the more knowledge you have, the higher your ability is for love and compassion and what have you. This is why they're working so hard that you have no love and no compassion. They don't want your heart and your brain connected, because you are the strongest that you ever can be when those two have a final meeting. You're not too much in the brain, which is logic. You're not too much in the heart, with emotion. You're evened out, and then you are a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. I was even going to say you do need to rely on your instincts and your higher self, because that's the best information you're going to get in discernment. And if you what's that word? When you feel something is true, basically, you resonate with it. Now, I can say another thing is most people don't, when I talk about aliens, most people don't some people don't believe in them, some people do, some people don't really know what's going on, but I do believe we do have beings constantly coming and helping us to some extent.
Yeah.
For many reasons. I mean, we've even experienced it in the last few days. I mean, for example, just this morning and yesterday morning, my shirt was turned backwards, and the night before,
her pajama shirt.
Yeah.
She went to bed and her pajama shirt was frontwards and it had words across it. And this morning when she got up, she's like, Mom, look at my shirt. It was completely backwards. And yesterday, it was inside out.
Yes.
So basically the words were here, but they were on the inside. So that is a clear in your face. Yes, we're coming. Yes, we're dealing with you. Here's verification. We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't agree with being taken. I don't agree with whatever, but Wendy had said something to me yesterday. She's spending the week here, and she said, Mom, I heard you talking to somebody in your sleep. And I'm like, what? And she said, it sounded like you were talking to someone and you were agreeing and saying, yeah, I know I got to do something or another, blah, blah, blah. I was completely unconscious having a full conversation with someone. Mm-hmm. And it's like, whoa, okay, because I had no memory of it at all. Mm-hmm. But you also did say you saw someone.
Yeah, it looked almost like a small gray of some kind. Of course, we're not going to see them physically to an extent because I could see it physically, but it's almost like they're in another dimension, or they are like having that tech on them where you're seeing them but you're not seeing them, if that makes sense. Almost like an invisibility as well, which I've experienced that with a reptilian before as well. So, you know, it is what it is. But I can say it's like I know when they're there, I see them, I can feel them, and you know, I've told them to get the hell out many times, but they don't care. And I think they're mocking me when they do that with my clothes. But it is what it is. I can say that we've looked into it before, and they, to an extent, they are taking some of the, you know, they're putting graphene oxide in our foods and in all kinds of stuff in the air. They're putting all these toxins everywhere, and they are taking those out of us, I guess, so we can, you know, not be completely destroyed with these bodies, because we do need these bodies.
I do know that I'm being artificially helped to stay alive because I'm around everyone all the time. I don't let that bother me. Who's got what? I don't care. I'll be here as long as I'm here, and I put myself into harm's way all the time, and I don't care. I'm here to do what I need to do, and when I go, I go. I'm not worried about it because I know this isn't all there is. I know what this is, and so I do know that I'm being taken care of. If I need to have something done, they'll come in and they'll make sure that I'm functioning so that I can say what I need to say and do what I need to do.
Yeah, it was very odd because I felt this pinch on my arm last night, and this is when I knew they were there. And I'm like, no, I covered my arm up because I didn't want them doing anything to me. It didn't matter because then it felt like there was something going on with my leg, and then it felt like my whole body was being flushed with something, like it was being taken out of my body. I could feel it moving to where the spot was that they had done something with.
Taking out the graphene oxide.
Are they, removing the toxins?
Or any toxins or what have you. We're being artificially kept alive.
Right, exactly.
Or we'd be goners. We're not the only ones. Don't think we're the only ones. The people that are getting to a level of acknowledgement, they know where they are, they know what's happening. Every one of you are having this happen to you too. You're unaware of it. You're being treated just like us.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare to wake up when something's happening. I mean, they were even showing us, well, at least for me, I was seeing images and it looked as real as can be, physically happening right there in front of me with animals and how bad they were being, you know, basically they're dying, they're not doing good, and it's like they were showing me pictures of this too. And I love animals, I would do anything for them, and I'm sure that's why they were showing this with the nature and animals. You know, we need to do something.
So just to let you know, you are having this done to you also. It's not just us. You're being artificially kept alive because you're there, and you will survive this. Mm-hmm. Because as much crap is being thrown at you, just like us, you're going to have help on the other side.
Well, I also see it like this. whether I mention it or not, it is what it is. It's happening regardless. Nobody has to believe it. And the thing is, if they really wanted to harm us, we just wouldn't be here now, would we? So the best thing I could do is think positive and not always think in the negative. Trust me, I want to think negatively sometimes because I don't trust anything. But I will say I'm still here. I'm still healthy. I'm fine. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
But trust your instincts. Don't always trust outside sources.
And remember, if you don't resonate with anything we say, find your middle ground yourself. You always have to do your own thing also. I don't want to be the be-all, end-all of all. I'm just out here to give information. Take it or leave it. It'll either resonate with you or it won't. It's either for you or it's not. I'm not here to cram anything down anybody's throat. No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. So Hippie Shake. I have 3 special needs sons, autistic and epileptic. Will they be healed when the time split happens?
Well, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because when the time split happens, you got to think we're not going to be in that dark, negative time anymore. Things are going to be getting much better.
There is so much technology out there now. No one seems to know about the technology, but it's there. And it's
We're
like...
supposed to talk about this, too.
Oh, yeah.
About the technology.
Yeah. So basically the technology of everybody who has all the epilepsy and anything that could possibly be wrong with you was all done initially from this. Because we're not born like that. But this was introduced, and depending on how much you have of that, harms those babies. Some of us are very susceptible to it, which is why we end up with all these things. Why do you think it runs in a family? They designed these things to damage babies, to damage the human populace. This can all be reversed.
Well, like you say all the time, this technology is not new. This stuff has been around forever. It's just coming out, and we're now becoming aware of this technology. But it's been here for millennia. However long this place has been in here, has been in existence, basically, this sim. Yep. We are now just being aware of what they're doing, the technology, how powerful it is. There's a lot more that's not even been implemented yet, if it ever gets implemented, and not for the negative. We need to use it for good. Because if we don't use it for good, we'll never get out of this shithole.
I will say this, the NAC and the zinc and this one right here, glycine, can take out the heavy metal damage of those shots that the baby's got. Faith, she's not here today, had been taking the NAC and the zinc, just those two, for 3 months. And her allergies are completely gone because it was vaccine damage. So every kind of damage was done by those intentional shots to take down humanity. And it's all heavy metals. It could be in their brain, it could be in their organs, but most likely it's in their brain. And for some reason, this right here is a miracle to take that stuff out. But you must combine it with the zinc. And also this one for aging and what have you.
Weight loss. To start taking all of them. So
the supplements.
I can see if my eczema is going to go.
Now,
right.
I will tell you this. If you have a good doctor and you talk to him about these two, because these are vitamins. These are supplements. This is not, something you have to go get from a doctor. And you talk to him about this and he doesn't know anything about this. His entire diploma is based on the pharmaceutical BS.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to go to a holistic or someone who knows about that for your children, because you really want to get the vaccine damages out of them, because that's exactly what it is. That's why they're born like that. Why aren't you like that? Because you didn't have the vaccines that they had. It seems like with every 10 years of generation, they're putting new crap. They said something like a baby now is going to get 37 shots to take them down, so they are definitely going to die. It's just like, oh my gosh. Horrible.
Okay, Carl, why is DNA important when we are pure consciousness, not energy?
Because
but
this
the
is
creator of
because this
energy?
is an avatar.
Yeah.
Because we are connected to
the
this avatar. And remember, we're pretty much sealed up in these avatars when we come in.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep your avatar at an optimal level.
It's almost like saying a computer is at its optimal level when it's brand new, you have nothing wrong with it, you've been using it. Next thing you know, it ends up with all these viruses. And now the viruses are keeping your computer from properly working until you get rid of those viruses, which can be a hassle.
And the true viruses are AI.
Yes, exactly.
I will tell you this. One of the reasons our DNA was so reduced was because we wouldn't have to rely on anything to stay optimal, which is why they introduced this to bring not only that down, but also our DNA. And they had did that through frequencies. If we were where we should be in the very beginning, our frequencies were so high, it wouldn't matter about the avatar. We could go in and out, and the avatar would never be ill because we could fix it in just a thought. But we're not there anymore. We've been so diminished, we're crawling out of the mud trying to start anew, and we need to find a shower and wash all the crap off and become the beings we were once. Mm-hmm.
Did you want to talk about anything here?
Oh, go ahead. You could do some more questions. If there's any more questions, I really want to answer everyone's questions.
I'm sure there is. I just have to look real quick.
She's looking. I don't want to skip anyone. Right. My stuff can wait.
Oh, okay, I got some. Jill, how do I get delivered to a loving snow globe without an ego?
We're going there now.
I was going to say,
we're going there now. This is why we're having the consciousness. Think of sifting flour with a sifter. That's us being sifted through our consciousness. Listen, not everyone can go because they're not there. If they're not on that vibration, and I mean that loving vibration, understanding, wanting to get out of their comfort zone, wanting to be able to experience new things, wanting to understand what this reality is about, not just go to work and earn money, because that's the takedown. You can't have paradise and put these people into paradise. You have to be able to match this paradise to keep it paradise. And that's what's happening now. They're matching the beings who could end up in a paradise to go to paradise, because you won't match anyway if you don't meet these criteria. You simply won't be able to go because your vibration won't allow you, because you'll literally blow apart if you're too negative. And basically it deals in negativity, which is fear, which is anxiety, which is all these things. That's why you got to get rid of this shit. Paradise can't handle beings that are not matching this frequency.
Actually, that kind of coincides with Squirrel Sniper. Sonia, would you say that fear stops you from going interdimensional whether you know you can or not?
Absolutely. Yes. Because it's the vibration. Fear is on such a it's one of the lowest vibrations. And fear comes in many different shades. I mean, I'm afraid of water. I'm afraid of rain. I'm afraid of the closet. I'm afraid of the neighbor across the street. I'm afraid of dogs. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to eat my donut because I'll get fat. Fear, it's a terrible negative thing. And fear is crazy. It makes you crazy. You can't even trust yourself when you're in such a state of fear. Usually when you're in fear, you always make the wrong choices. You always take the lower road. You harm others on the way down.
Okay, I have another one. Alicia, what do you see happening with the digital currency transition? Where they're trying to get rid of money?
Yeah. Yeah, the elites are doing what they can. They want everyone to go onto that stupid system where you want to live in 15-minute cities of hell, control you even more, make you into Borg with this. And completely control you on the inside out, literally. That currency goes along with that. It'll be a credit system. Oh, you did this, blah, 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 you can have a credit. You did this, you can't have any credits. Live without food for a week, or live without shelter, or I won't let you into your little 15-minute city apartment. I mean, it's quite heinous. The negative will win in that aspect, on that timeline. The positive will never deal with it. A little bit at the beginning because we're still in negative and positive, but we'll be completely off that system into the positive. That's not going to be standing. In the positive reality, of course not. It depends on which timeline you're going on.
Okay, I have two of them here. RR, do you lucid dream? What do you learn in the dream world? That's one.
Okay, let me do that one first. I love to talk about dreaming. I dream all the time. Remember, you're in a sim. So what you're doing is, all you're doing is having your consciousness put to another part of the sim. And that's that's why sometimes it's like, I'm flying. Because in that part of the sim, you have the ability to fly.
That's very true.
Or you can, how about this? You're in an ocean and you're underwater and you can breathe just fine. Or you're in a pool and you can breathe, or a lake or a river. No problem. You can breathe underwater. It's another part of the sim. Dreaming has many aspects. Sometimes when you need to reflect and break down your reality in this sim, you'll go to another part of the sim where it can all come to you. Everything is always done in pictures. But remember, in your dreams, you can feel, you can taste, you can smell, you can see. You have your 5 senses and your 6th sense, because it's still the sim. Do you think you're going to be able to eat that chocolate cake and taste that if you were just artificially dreaming? No, it's because it's still a part of the sim. Your consciousness never rests, so they have to put you someplace else so your avatar can rest. But you as a consciousness, you don't need rest. You're eternal. You can go and go and go. You're an energizing battery. That's what you are. You're an energizing battery. You are a being of energy and thought. You never need to rest. It's only your avatar that needs to rest. So you're placed in a different part of the sim to have a dream. Your consciousness.
But unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want it to be there either. Because
that's true.
There are times where you could be lucid dreaming and
these night terrors.
Yeah, or you're completely conscious. You know you're in a dream. You know you're stuck and you're screaming to get out. And then finally you wake up and you feel like you're in a coma.
I will tell you that night terrors are at all-time high because of this. Being connected to AI and the MK Ultras on all the towers. Don't think satellites. That's ridiculous. Think towers. That's why they went up everywhere. Think about a satellite. How's it staying up there in the dome? You think they're gassing it up or putting oil? Wouldn't that run out? Of course. Balloons. That's how they're staying up, but they also come down. So it's more feasible to do towers with the MK Ultra and all the different 5G, 6G, what have you. That's why towers went up everywhere. And this whole thing with Elon Musk, I'm going to put millions of things in the air. Let's call them, I don't know, whatever. No, that's BS. They always have you looking in a different direction instead of here. With you. It's always a diversion.
Keith F.E., what's your thoughts on soul contracts?
Soul contracts.
It's different for everybody, I would say.
When I break it down, the beings that are projected into here, we don't really have any contracts. We're here to do something. That's it. That's
the contract, technically.
Yeah, and then I think about the stuck beings. What contract do they have? They're stuck.
Right, exactly.
And then I think about the NPCs. Do you think they have contracts? They're a program running. And then the only ones left are the brain and spinal cords. And they're the bulk of it. Contracts? Slaves. I don't know. I think it was a psyop a long time ago. Somebody said, let's tell them they're on contracts and they have to do all this. That way they won't question anything. And they feel like they're doing the right thing. I see all that as psyops.
Well, you
so
also
much
have
of
to
us
think
is psyops.
Think about it like this, too. If we truly had contracts and we needed to come in here and do all these things, and we had no choice, or we could even be reincarnated if we didn't do them, then why don't we remember what we're supposed to be here for half the time? We have to start doing our own inner work, basically, to find out.
Oh, it's a big secret what your contract is. Oh, really?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I hate to say it, but the community of enlightenment, because I don't know what else to call it, to be enlightened, has been so infiltrated. What if people started waking up and you're like, no, let's change the subject. Let's get them going down this route and this route and this route. We'll confuse the hell out of you, tell you all of this stuff, and say, yeah, that's what it is. That's why you're here, because you really don't know. You've been so wiped. You really don't know. Well, how can you? We have been infiltrated on very many levels in this community, in all communities like this.
Okay, so McClum77, do you see the dome down and Tataria beyond? The hologram still hiding it?
Yeah, Tataria is outside of here. I see multiple domes, but there's also just open land. And don't forget, in the cosmic egg, there's all this underground. But in our little dome, it's a full, like this, circle. So say this is the ground, and then all of this is under here. But then you have the full cosmic egg, which wouldn't even fit on the screen because we're so tiny. Outside of here, things are large. Say a dolphin's the size of the Titanic. Or, a turtle's the size of the Titanic. We've been very diminished inside of this dome. So yeah, I see that outside of here, there's all kinds of stuff going on, but this is a little prison colony in here.
I think this is a question. Odin's Raven, astrology and personal planets? Question mark?
Planets.
Yeah, there's
space.
You can explain that.
Every time I hear somebody talking about space, I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been so indoctrinated by NASA.
Yes.
Which is the cabal. I'm sorry, that's what they are.
Yes, it is the cabal.
I always love when they said we went out to Mars, or we went to the moon, or we went here, or we went there. Really? There's something called AKA the Van Allen belt, and they've even said that they can't get outside of it, but I call it the dome. Yeah, and it just cracks me up because when I look, it's holographic. We're in a dome. Everything you think you know is holographic. That's a big foundation to have taken away from you. I did a video on how the holographics work. I don't remember what number it was. Maybe somebody could post in talking about what number that is, the holographic dome that we're in. Yeah, it's all space. Everything outside of the cosmic egg is water. There's no such thing as space. Space is also a made-up BS. There's no such thing as space. There's always something. There's no open vacuum of anything. That's just ridiculous. Never was. But NASA has sold that cookie, and everybody's taking a bite of it and believes the cookie.
Let me say something real quick. I said something to Mom the other day. I said space. How funny is it they've used that specific word, space? Think about what space actually means in our language. Oh, you have a box here, and you have all this space in this box. Who's to say space isn't just uncreated in this sim, and we haven't gone that far to create in this space, so it's just blackness. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the whole planets, the galaxies, that's all made up.
Yeah.
NASA made all that up. NASA's the cabal. They needed money, and so they knew what this was to begin with, because they are, in turn, the brain and spinal cords that are running, or the brain sticks running this reality. They know all about it, and so they're like, here, let's do this. Let's create this. We'll invent money way back when, and we'll get all these people slaved on money, and we'll be able to control them with money. We'll create space. We'll tell them we're going to do all this, and we're going to expand our reality in our prison. You can start paying us for all of your hard-earned energy to do what you're doing. You feed us this money through NASA, through taxes, what have you, extortion. That's what I think of it as, because that's what it is, a pirate's mentality. And all created so they would always be taken care of. And we are duped because we have been led to believe in our indoctrinating schools that authority knows better than you do. And authority is running everything, which is your governments, which is all of that crap. Yeah, I got a lot to say about it. It's ridiculous. I believe all of it needs to be trashed. We don't need to have any government telling us what to do. We need to take back our reality. We need to take back humanity while we're here in these avatars. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You'll have to read some more because I'm not reading that.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, Carl, can we choose what moment of Earth history to experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, you can.
Squirrel Sniper, does fear subdue our three sensors, paramagnetic, diamagnetic, and ferromagnetic?
Well, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Here's what happens. Everything is magnetic. As you know, you have positive and negative, and fear runs on the negative part of your magnetic being because everything is positive and negative. If you're equally balanced, you can go into neutral. And when you go into neutral, you can activate all of your DNA. You can even become weightless. You can do I can move objects with my reality because once I become neutral, I can make things around me neutral. So yes, when you have fear, which is in the negative part of your being, it overproduces that negativity, and all of a sudden you only have this much plus because you have negative and positive magnetics. So you can create a more negative magnetic body, which is fear, and or you can create a more positive magnetic body. But what you really want to do is slide them both to become neutral, and that way it's a big DNA activator. Ed Leedskallen was onto it from Coral Castle, and when I started reading his book, I started having all kinds of information coming in from holding his material. Even though he didn't write it, it was only copied, that essence of him was still in the words because words are powerful. And I was getting visions of what truly could be done with changing the polarities of magnetics to neutral. It was quite amazing. I could do a whole video just on that. Mm-hmm. So fear will keep you in the more negative magnetics, and no fear will put you into a more balanced neutral magnetic. And at that point, yeah, there you go. There is the key to unlocking your DNA. Okay, anything else?
Yes. The golden dragon boss. Can you see where I am being projected from and where my real body outside of the simulation is?
Most of us here are projected in, like me, as a data stream. And we were put here to influence the brain and sticks. I don't know what you call them. Brain sticks. Brain and spinal cord beings. Because they're the ones actually creating this reality. So yeah, you're projected from outside of here. Most of us are that are on this channel. That's why you've come here. So to make a difference in this reality, in this sim. There is a lot was put into making this sim. This sim is quite advanced and nobody really wants to shut it down. It's only going to be a choice of we can't fix it. We'll have to shut it down. So we need to make it better. That's why we're in here. And also help the ones that are trapped, the brain and spinal cords, because they don't need to be here either anymore. They need to, once they pass out of this, in between passing out of this, these brain and spinal cords, there will be a brief moment where they can choose to actually leave their brain and spinal cords, and because they're energy beings, they do not have to go into another incarnation trap. They can leave and go out of this sim. And that's what we're here to try to wake them up, to give them the opportunity that they do not have to keep doing this again and again and again. They are trapped prisoners in a cylinder, for God's sake. And if they truly knew what they were, would they continue the simulation into another incarnation? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. It's not living. It's a smoke and mirrors pretend. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Polaris, how important are our dreams? Should we remember them? Should I write them down?
Absolutely remember your dreams. Make a dream journal. I'm a big one into remembering dreams. I know that if I wake up a little more frequently through the night, I will retain more dreams, because you go through an entire dream cycle. I think it's like an hour where you hit the different REMs, the different levels, and you do dream in your REM. A lot of your dreams are you putting your world together of all the things that you've learned in a day, because the stimuli is phenomenal normally. Unless you're in a complete stagnating routine, you should be learning 7 new things every single day or more. If you are in stagnation, you're learning nothing, you're doing nothing, you're a robot, you're just automated doing the same thing. It's the worst thing you can ever do to an energy being.
This one's kind of weird. I think they're talking about somebody else. Steve G. Chiron Last has started making videos daily offering the heart a way out of this hell. He says he is the key. It's intense, he says. The false light equals the sun and moon will go out soon. Is Chiron
Oh, we should talk
AI
about that
or
going
real?
out soon. Wendy and I were just talking about the sun and moon going out because we're in a dome, because this is artificial.
Yeah.
When that dome opens, this entire place will turn pitch black because the sun will be turned off. Pitch black, get some candles. Days of darkness, and then the dome will calm down.
Well, yeah, basically what would happen if it does, I don't know if it will or not still, but basically what would happen is when the blackouts happen, the whole entire sim would technically be shut down, but only on the inside of our dome, because we're not on the outside. But when that happens, everything will be turned pitch black, because it's the dome and the hologram and the fake sun and the moon that's giving off all the light, plus the electricity, which would be completely shut down. It'd be like a blackout. So unfortunately, it would be so pitch black in here that you would see nothing. You wouldn't even be able to see your hand in front of your face.
And the problem is that it'll also give off EMFs. So that means batteries will go dead, car batteries will go dead, house batteries will go dead. The electricity will be stopping, because electricity is nothing but magnetism anyway. It's the flowing of negative and positive magnets. It's not like electricity is coming in through the lines. No, actually, it doesn't really work like that. What I'm seeing with electricity is that it's always there. It's that when you turn up that switch, then it'll move. And then you turn it off. It's like a light switch. So it's always in the lines. And also the ether is going into the lines also. It's not just coming from a power plant. That's ridiculous. It's magnetics. It's literally magnetics. And it's just there always. Everything is magnetic. We're standing on magnetics. Our house is magnetic. This cup has magnetics. Everything. We're magnetic. Electricity is not what they told us it was, by a long shot. Any more questions?
Squirrel Sniper has the snake venom got voice to skull technology.
The snake venom? No. And it's not just snake venom.
There's also multiple venoms.
It's they found shellfish venom, sea snail venom, of course snake venom. There was like 136 different individual venoms in that, you know what? And that was only done for shutting down your immune system to a degree. So what it did was it went into your genetics, because it changed you on a cellular level. So when you start to detox, when you get sick with the flu, it's not a flu, it's you detoxing. If you get sick with the cold, it's you detoxing. You didn't catch your flu or you didn't catch your cold. That's your own avatar detoxing. So what it did was it went into where your own immune system would kick in and send out its super soldiers. It got your body to produce the venoms. So your body's producing super soldiers, and it's now producing synthetically all those venoms. And now this is what's happening. Your own body is fighting itself. So when you get ill and you're trying to detox because you're completely polluted from the water, the food, the air you breathe, and your body's so over detox, you get sick. And they call it a flu, they call it a cold. Now that's kicking in with your immune system, producing more synthetic neurotoxins. You are now producing those synthetic neurotoxins along with your T cells. The problem is it also shut down your T cells with this thing. So it's knocking down your T cells. It's opening up dormant genes, which is Lou Gehrig's or sickle cell anemia, or a plethora of all kinds of things, which lie inside of your cell base, but your body has, your avatar has shut them down because they're harmful, because that was also done to us at a different point in a different reset. All this stuff was done to us, but your body conquered it, and now it's dormant. I mean, that's just the whole story in itself. So yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with MK Ultra. It's got to do with an internal takedown. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the graphene oxide and the graphene hydroxide, that has to do with MK Ultra. That's literally machinery. Mm-hmm. And yes, it receives that, and it can keep your vibration extraordinarily low because it's machinery. It's a frequency tool. That's why they got these motherboards inside of them, and all this stuff is growing inside their vascular system.
The whole point of those stupid shots was to get the machine in you so you can now be transferred from consciousness pure to AI Borg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. I had one right here. Where did it go? Oh, right here. McClum77, can you remove view to see the dome, down or no? I was going to say, it's not just one dome, it's two.
We have been double domed.
Yeah.
That's why we have the double rainbows now. Somebody seriously doesn't want all this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've been double domed. They have done everything they can to take down that first dome. They have weaponed it up. They have lasered it. They have done all kinds of things. But it's a technology, and the technology is self-repairing. So say you had a laser, and you're lasering the dome, and it's blowing it apart. It's already rebuilding while it's blowing apart. It's so advanced technology.
Well, I think what's going to blow their minds more is it's not even them, the controllers who've double domed us. It's the ones on the outside of us, of our dome, who've double domed us. Well, put a second dome in, I should say.
Yeah, because this is a prison area. The negativity in here is off the scale. Don't forget, it's the brain and spinal cords running everything down below us. And then they use the vrills, and then they use the NPCs, and then they use this and that and the other thing. I mean, oh my gosh. And they use humans. Just think about the energy beings that have gone to the dark side. They're using them too. I mean, it's just terrible. Any more questions?
Okay, what's up with the horrible nightmares? Elderberry love.
Well, when you've gotten all that Borg inside of you, because it's Borg, and they've even got it where you can look up Homo Borg Genesis, which is now the new human species 2, whatever, and they have laws put in place already for that, and it goes way back to 2002. And when they put this technology into you, it's skull to tower. It's like scalar. It goes through, and you've got all this tech in your body, and this tech is in your brain also. And what they can do is they can send out signals where you don't even know. Oh no, is my camera going? Let me plug this in. Uh-oh. I totally forgot to plug this in. Can you see this to plug it in?
Yeah, let me see.
Is it on this end?
Probably.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no.
We're at
Okay, we're at 4%. I almost lost it. I forgot to plug that thing in. So basically, oops, we'll try to fix it again. I don't know why it doesn't want to go. If that's okay, because if it keeps moving, we'll just move this.
I can put that there and stop
Yeah.
it.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, almost lost you. What was I talking about? Just out of my head went, with the MK Ultra.
With the horrible nightmares?
The nightmares.
Yeah.
What happens is, on your TV, on your phone, anything that has a black screen that's connected to the towers, obviously it is, which is connected to the bad guys. And they're constantly putting out, they can put out on a low frequency that you cannot hear. And if it's running in the background anywhere, or if you live by a tower, they can literally take your consciousness and direct it into another program. And the program could be, okay, I'm going to put you into hell tonight. So we're going to torture you all night long because we're going to take your data stream. Because even the brain and spinal cords have a data stream. That's how they get into the sim, through a data stream, being hooked up, whatever. So if you're projected in, you have a data stream. If you're a brain and spinal cord, you have a data stream. And what they can do is they can take your data stream and put it into any given scenario that they have for you. And they can put you into a hell. They can torture you. It's quite heinous. So there's your nightmares. Yeah, and that's why they seem so real. And you think you've been to hell. They put you into a data stream hell. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Miss Dragoness. Dolores Cannon told us in order to change our vibration to match that of the new earth, we have to stop eating animals. I'm interested to hear both your perspectives on that. Thanks.
I do know that there's a lot of things that's going on with the animals. First off, I believe at one time we did not eat anything. This wasn't an eat you world. Animals didn't eat other animals. It was an entirely different system.
We were breatharians.
But that got taken away. That all of that got taken away, and everything was diminished to where it is an eat you world. It's horrible. Right now, I can see that Dolores Cannon was getting information for the future. We really shouldn't be eating animals because of what they're doing to the animals, injecting them with all of these bioweapons also. I mean, oh my gosh, what are you eating? And then turning it to synthetic. Synthetic meat is so toxic. It's like eating insects. It's toxic for the human body to eat insects. We cannot digest skeletal remains, the skeleton of the insect, and that stuff is toxic. It's the same thing. Everything is now being formed to be a killing machine for us. But here's the problem. So has our vegetables and fruits. They've made it quite toxic also. So now that they've changed the seeds to carry the mRNA change inside of it to make you susceptible to the 5G, 6G, what are we to do about all of this? It's quite terrible. But yeah, I eat a little bit of meat. On occasion, I'll eat the chicken and something. Sometimes I'll eat seafood. It's even rare now. The meat consumption that we have is very little, very little. I know I can go months without eating any meat, and I do know there's a difference. I don't feel quite as healthy without some meat in my diet. I know that everyone has to say that, but I think it's because our vegetables and our fruits have been so diminished that when we do eat,
you've got to remember when we talked about that earlier, they've taken out almost all the nutrition in our food, our natural food, that we are now relying on other means, and we're still not getting it.
No.
So, unfortunately.
And here's the thing. One of the reasons I try to eat grass-fed animal, the only thing I eat is chicken, and I want a chicken to go out and eat the insects, because that's what it's meant to eat. If I eat that chicken, I don't want hormones and shots and all this other crap into it. Because the chicken is getting the first nutritional thing out there that it's designed to, and if I eat that chicken, I'm getting more out of that than I'm probably getting out of all my fruits and vegetables, unless I go to the Amish people and buy Amish fruits and vegetables, because everything has been taken out of everything. The amygdalin 17, the glycine, you name it, the vitamins and minerals. Like when you eat a single carrot, you're thinking you're getting 100% of everything a carrot has, when in reality, you're getting 10%. And this is for your fruits and vegetables across the board. So now it's like, wow, it's gotten to the point where if you're going to get most of the nutrition, you're either going to have to try to find heirloom seeds or go to the Amish, and most people don't have Amish around them. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I mean, when I don't have a lot of meat, I eat a lot of seafood too. So I can't really say it's not a different type of meat. It still is.
Yeah, I don't eat seafood.
But I do love seafood. I will eat it.
Yeah, but I do eat seaweed in replacement, and I eat algae in replacement, like spirulina. So there are places we can get our protein, because spirulina is a whole protein.
Yeah.
This is
and
why I don't eat meat like that
I
either.
don't just stop eating meat. I mean, there are times where I feel like my body's requiring it.
Mm-hmm.
It's craving it. And it's like, oh my God, I got to eat some meat. It's terrible. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we are still in these physical bodies. And until that changes, I can't say that everybody's going to be able to change unless we can get the proper nutrients, minerals, vitamins, everything we need in our diet, which is supposed to be a multitude of things. I mean, how are you supposed to do that? You know?
Yeah.
And every day.
I mean, if you had to go and buy every supplement that's been taken out of your diet, you're going to be living on pills. I mean, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And I'm already living on pills. I mean,
yeah.
I'm putting pills in my diet.
Agree with,
I mean,
you know,
multivitamins. And then you got to make sure they're not synthetic.
Right. And
you need natural things.
I understand where the morals come from. I don't want to see animal die just to eat it. You know, but unfortunately, they're already dead when I'm buying it. It's not like I could see.
But I will tell you, when we eat less of that, the industry doesn't have to produce as much.
Right, exactly.
But remember, they're also turning your meat into synthetically grown in a lab. That stuff is so toxic.
Yeah, it's very bad. And
really, if that's how it's going to be, we're going into nature. We're going to have to start foraging for ourselves because there's no way you're putting that synthetic crap into your mouth. And you're not eating insects. That stuff is toxic poison. The exoskeleton shells are toxic poison.
Well, I know I've said this before, but I wish people who had the means of doing it could cultivate natural mushrooms because they are so beneficial. It's almost like replacing the meat out of your diet if you eat mushrooms every day.
If you eat wild mushrooms.
Yes.
But here's the problem. You have got, the thing of it is, they grow wildly. It's different times of the year. And the more people you have foraging it, the less there's going to be to go around because of the populace.
Right.
But I live on mushrooms. I go out into the wild. I get my morels. I get my chicken of the woods. I get my lion's mane. I get
yellow oyster, golden
oysters, and I've gotten
the beef.
What are those called? I can't think of it.
Beef mushrooms, or
they're anyway, and I get them in large quantities because mushrooms can be very prolific or even enormous. I got one chicken of the woods, and it was so big I had 6 full big gallon bags of them, and I still have 2 left from last year. So I incorporate that into my diet because it's high in protein and it has all kinds of things, antioxidants. I mean, just you name it, it's wonderful. But go ahead, we're ignoring that chat. Yeah, we do nature foraging here. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I go out to nature foraging, and not just for mushrooms. I get other things too.
Loveskin, are the Dragonian overlords gone or no? No, they're not gone.
They're not gone. I don't understand how they're running around saying, "Oh, they're gone." No, really? Because if they were gone, do you think we'd be in the shape we're in?
Experiencing any of this negativity?
Their vrills are still here.
Yeah. If it was gone, we wouldn't have even had those death weapons.
Think about that. I love how the psyops come out. Oh, the enemy's gone. Just believe me, the enemy's gone. Look in your world. Does it look like the enemy's gone to you?
All right. Jen Armstrong, have you experienced wormholes connecting to you rather than you creating the wormhole? Wormhole, is that like a portal?
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would imagine it's a portal.
Well, I don't know about connecting, but I do know that there are portals all over the place. There's actually an energy well.
Yeah, but she's asking, can we create a portal?
Oh, I believe we can. I believe we can create portals.
I've never done it.
No, I've never done it. But we just need to know how to do that. If it's even, well.
That's something to look into. Thank you for mentioning that. I will look into how to create portals coming from ourselves.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Well, I did. Remember in the last video I was talking about how, I was saying this when we're dead though, not in physical bodies, that we could just create a portal and imagine ourselves outside of the Archon, so then we won't be trapped in this crap anymore.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I didn't.
I'm going to look into that. I really am. I want to start activating the DNA and start doing something in the physical world. Right. I'm working really hard on doing this now because
I do know there's technology that can open portals, but I don't know if we can. I don't think we can. I think we just need to learn how to do it. But who's gonna teach us?
We'll have to pull it out of the ether because everything's there.
Exactly.
There's nothing new under the sun.
That's why
it's all there. We just have to tap into it.
Yeah.
It's all there.
That's very true.
Do you have any more?
Yes. Jen Armstrong, who or what created the wormhole?
Oh, well, when I see the portals, they were always naturally there because there are frequency pockets that were created in here for people to come and go. A lot of your old Antiqua tech, those archways on the star forts were portals. Depending on the star fort, how it's designed depended on where the portal would open up at. If you had a simplistic one, the archway would take you someplace in your realm. If you had a double star fort, it could take you outside of your area onto like another area inside of the dome. The ones that are really, there's like 7 or more of them, those portals will take you outside of the dome itself. Then there are the natural portals that were, I'm going to say they were placed here. They could be naturally forming, but they were helped. Let's just say that frequencies were hired up where the natural portals are so that they could be activated by anyone who matched that frequency. A lot of times the Sasquatch, and yes, there are Sasquatch, they're just a different species, can go through these portals by biting into a tree because trees can go through all of the dimensions, well, quite a few of them, not all of them. And the tree carries multiple frequencies that you could tap into through biting, but they have the bodies that can do it because they're half plant anyway. They're comprised of plant and animal. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Their avatars are. So they bite into the tree and they can go through any of the dimensions that the tree will carry inside of it. Different trees carry different dimensions. Some trees carry higher dimensions and other trees only have a few dimensions. Depending on the tree, depends on the amount of the dimensions. It's like I can have a record that has 40 songs or I can have a record that has 3 songs. It's no different. It's a frequency. So that's why the Sasquatch want to have certain trees that carry the higher frequencies with more frequencies. If you have a frequency right next to ours, we can still kind of see them. They look a little bit shadowy, but we can see them. You need something that's several frequencies above us, so they just aren't here for us anymore. This is why if you match the very frequency above us, I could still see something out of my peripherals. And if I wanted to, I could still feel you because you're still there. So if you went up like 5, you would not simply be in my reality anymore. You just wouldn't be here. You're on a different frequency, completely dimension.
That's very, very true.
Okay.
Just Andy, super prisons in the UK, what are they for?
Super prisons in the UK? I've never heard of that.
I know they had that.
What the heck is that? I never heard of that. Never heard of that. I do not know everything. I only know what I look into, and I can only look into things that are suggested to me or I stumble across or I talk about with other people.
I feel like I've heard about something like that.
I've never. Super prison. What is
that? I can't remember. I know I heard something about it, but I can't remember now. I think they're actually building something or doing something there. And
super prison. I'll have to look into it when I get a chance, and I'll remote view. The fact that you told me about it, I can now look into it.
Okay, let's see. I hope I didn't pass it right.
How about right there? Is that one? No?
Yeah. Jill, why can we not will ourselves out of this life now?
We used to be able to before we were so locked down.
Trust me, I would not be here if we could do that.
There's so many times I wanted out. I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough. I want out. But no, I still have to be here. I think a lot of us, if we could leave, we would just go because we're fed up. And of course, we have a reason to be fed up. Look at this reality. It's pretty shit. Yeah, at one time when we first came down into this reality, when we were those crystal city beings, we could go in and out, but this place wasn't that bad. It got corrupted because when we became more 3D and then we started eating, which solidified these bodies, especially not so much the ones that first came in, but the babies that were being born, when we were able to have babies and then house other energy beings into those babies, they become solidified. So it was a slow, gradual takedown. Now we're stuck. Until we can activate that DNA, we are stuck.
Justin Watkins, is there a process for breaking into lost memories of this life? Yes. I would say there's a couple different ways of doing things. You can sit in silence and start asking yourself questions and trying to just be in your own mind and start. You'll get information in, you'll get images, you'll start seeing things that you remember and you'll resonate with it. I mean, I get that a lot at least. You can go into meditation and you can do it that way.
Yeah, I don't meditate.
I don't meditate, but apparently that's a good way of doing things. To me, meditation is literally just being in your own mind, not having any distractions around you, and doing your own thing, not always even in concentration. Like, you are concentrating, but you could be doing things in the time you're even questioning yourself or asking for the answers or saying, I want to know this, I want to know this. Show me what I am or where I am or why I'm here or what have you. Anything you could be asking.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Let me move this a little closer. I guess our phone got shoved back when I plugged it in. Okay. Anything else? Any more questions? You can ask me any topic under the sun. I will answer it.
Red Herring Media, where do you think these brains and spinal cords are being housed? Antarctica, maybe?
No. Completely under the ground. They're directly under this snow globe, and it's a big area. Miles under the ground. It's not topical. It's down underneath. There's a reason it's down underneath. The reason it's down underneath is so that the Phoenix weapon, which will be deployed, can't reach them. It's as simple as that. It's protection. Any more?
Yes. Okay, right here. Did I read that? No. Joe, what should we do when we are encouraged to go to the light? Blow that shit up. Run away, fly away, or destroy it.
The bright white light is the AI reincarnation scheme. This is when you pass away, you need to wake up fully. Everything will start to come in. You go nowhere. Right now, I just want to wake up fully. Why do you think Hollywood was pushing, go to the light, go to the light? Just know that Hollywood is the psyop. They're going to tell you everything that's the opposite of what you should be doing. What was that show, that woman? The woman. Yeah, what was her name?
The Ghost Whisperer?
The Ghost Whisperer. Go to the light, go to the light. I'm like going, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Go to the reincarnation zapping scheme again? Yeah, you're never going to get out. Wake up. Once you die, you wake up. Because remember, everything is perspective. When you pass away, you still think you are who you are. You are still who you are. You don't think anything has happened. You're still solid. You're still who you are. You're just not quite in that reality anymore because this is a sim. You wake up, and at that point, you realize you get your toolbox out here, and you think, wait a minute. I remember all this, and we were talking about this, and what am I going to do next? I'm going to let everything come into me, and at that point, I'm going to take my toolbox of all my knowledge, and I'm going to be like, no, I'm not doing that. But let's see what I am going to do. What is my instinct? Where am I going to go? You will know what to do if you're allowed to wake up, especially with this toolbox of information.
This one's okay. Shoshona Fawn. I'm a massage therapist and I feel I have been shed on. So I've been taking Imison and Takasumi charcoal to detox. Do you believe I'm able to get shed on even if I keep my vibe high as possible? Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
This is a bio weapon. It was designed over a long period of time. Actually, it was improved. The bio weapon was back several resets. This is nothing new under the sun. This has been used again and again and again. But they have improved it to be more efficient as a bioweapon and treat it like it's a weapon. All you're going to do is keep detoxing. Remember, the NaC with the zinc will get that out of you also, and it'll repair your body damage. Take it.
Ula Noonan, should we buy candles? Yes.
Yes! I went out and bought candles. We discovered this not that long ago, and I'm like, I gotta go buy candles, because if this does happen anytime in the next whatever, I don't care when it happens, if I'm still here, I don't want to be in the dark. I can't see in the dark like that when there's absolutely not one speck of light, and all your devices and all your electricity is gone. The only thing you're gonna wish you had is candles. Oil candles, an oil lantern,
a lighter, something.
You can't just have a lighter on your hand; finger's gonna burn.
Well, that's very true. Well, unless
I bought a bunch of candles. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be prepared. I put candles around, and I know where my matches are because I put them in different places. So if that happens to me, at least I have a candle and a match. But here's the problem: what if you're out driving, or what if you're walking somewhere and you don't have your candle and match on you? Make sure you have something that you can, even if it is a lighter or something, because remember, it's going to zap out batteries. You won't even, your flashlight won't work, your phone won't work. That's another thing too. And well, the one good thing is, if that does happen and we get that EMF, your car will die instantly, so the battery will be zapped. So hopefully you won't be going real fast. All I can say is, don't live in the state of fear. It is what it is. You'll be in the right place when this happens. Just know you will.
True. Hippie Shake is the Mandela effect, a clear indication of a shift inside this dome.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's also timeline wars.
Yes,
because
timeline wars.
Timeline wars and resets. Timeline wars, resets. Oh, God, you name it.
It's all of the above, because it's never just one thing with these mother effers.
These MFers.
Yeah.
Hey, first cuss word of the day.
Well, I think I said shit earlier.
Oh, we'll just add another one in there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that is right.
Yes. Let's see.
She's looking for more.
Candles and lighters for the blackout. Yes. Oh, Red Herring Media, what are these? What are those strange sounds coming from the sky? Heard around the world. I've been hearing the same thing. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm hearing the same thing as them, but I'm hearing some kind of really loud, like, mechanical machinery.
I've been hearing it too. It's reverberations off the dome.
Probably, but I think it's
reverberation. No. What I actually see is the dome is reverberating. Why is the dome reverberating? Because they're using big time machinery.
Well, I know they have freezer units in place, for example. So it could be reverberating from the freezer units, but I'm not for sure. I never looked into it.
I do know that one of the freezer units was malfunctioning, because everything in here should be like a terrarium, one temperature, and it should be like 72 to 75 or 76 all year round. And they brought the freezer units in to take down this reality. Because the trees are not supposed to ever go into dormancy. They do it for self-preservation, and so do animals. And it was never meant to be like that. This place was supposed to flourish with nature. So I know the one freezer unit was really screwing up because it had issues, and they were doing stuff on it. It was because these freezer units are enormous. There's two in this snow globe, one on each opposite sides of each other. This does this half of the dome, this does this half of the dome, and they were having problems with that one freezer unit. And this is why we're having whack weather too, because of the freezer unit. Actually, we should, if the freezer units went down, this place would go back to how it should be, and that's one temperature. You wouldn't have the high heat and you wouldn't have the low cold. It's all artificially done with those freezer units.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the reverberation. Boom! Off the dome.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained it because I don't know if anybody knows about any of that. Okay, Beth Bowers, Sonia, I'm wondering if the portal that you saw before you went on vacation is still there.
No. They open and close. It's gone. It stayed as long as I could film it, and then it basically disappeared. I've been seeing other little portals. I haven't seen any more in months since I got back. I haven't seen a single portal.
I saw that one the other day. Remember, it looked like another doorway in the woods.
Oh yeah. Now Wendy's seen portals. I haven't really been looking for them because I'm not going anywhere right now. I have no intentions of going anywhere. That's a big one too. If you have no intentions of going, they won't open for you. You won't even see them. And right now I have no intentions of going anywhere. I have things I've got to do, and I'm doing it now. This is my job. Nothing else matters. This information is all that matters. So.
Okay. Well, you could, Jen Armstrong, I would really like to go in deep about wormholes with you if I've experienced it. You can always.
I have an email.
Email, yeah.
I'll have to post it. I think I had it on and took it. I think I had it took down. When I first did the Skypes, where I just offered to do Skypes, I was bombarded with Skype. I couldn't even do it. It was too much. And I tried to do as many as I could, and it just became overwhelming for me. I mean, I wasn't doing anything anymore but Skype meetings. And it's like, oh, God, I can't do this. So I started limiting it. I took down, I'm pretty sure I took down my email. I have to put it back up.
No, I think it's there because she said she emailed you.
Okay. I haven't been back to my email since I was sick. I have a lot of things going on in my physical reality also. And I know I'm supposed to get with a couple of people. I had promised to do something with them. So I will be addressing my emails again. Yeah, get a hold of me on my email. Please be patient with me because I am still going through a lot of stuff. I'm still not divorced. I'm going back to court in a couple of days. It's just a long story. And I'm dealing with that too because stuff's always thrown at me also. I mean, I've got the negative really working hard to make sure that I'm not having an easy life here. Distractions, basically. I look at it as distractions. And I've been going through a divorce for 4 years. 4 years, and I cannot get divorced. It's not like I haven't tried.
True. Louis Phillip, is CERN opening portals for entities?
CERN's doing all kinds of nasty things. I saw CERN smashing particles. You want to know who those particles were? Beings. Energy beings. And then it goes from there. They're doing all kinds of terrible things. Just know that CERN is not a psyop. It's actually being done. They put out a lot of disinformation, so you think, oh, it's nothing. It's just crap. No. They would not be dumping hard-earned energy, which is money, into a place for no reason. They're doing it for a reason. They're trying to do everything they can to get out of this dome, even if it's going inward, which means smaller, thinking that if they keep getting themselves smaller, that they could go out of the dome. It's not going to work, because as small as you think you're going to become in this reality, the tech is designed for that. They have thought of everything with this tech to keep you in, to keep this up. That's a whole story in itself. Think of Ant-Man. Somebody was telling me about Ant-Man. So he got smaller and he can have universes inside smaller. That's because that's what they're doing with CERN. They're trying to find ways out of this dome, so they figured they'd get small enough to get out and then re-energize themselves to be big again. Not going to work. It's redundant. Everything has been thought of to keep this here, contained. You can't get smaller, you can't get larger, you can't laser it, you can't think it away, you can't blow it away. can't fire it away. You can't freeze it away. This tech is phenomenal.
McClum, at what status are the white hats, Sonia?
All white hats, if they're white hats are you and me. It's not just, some government faction. No, forget that shit. White hats are people like you and me. And we're at the high status because we are the white hats. We're the ones spreading the information. We're the ones trying to make a change in this reality. A lot of psyops about the white hats. Oh, don't worry about it. They're going to take care of everything. No, you and I have to step up and take care of everything here inside of us because it's on an individual basis. No white hat's going to come in and save you. We have to save ourselves.
Carl, if I am being projected in here, where am I being projected from? What is the state of that body?
Wendy and I were talking about this. All of us are coming from different parts of reality. You should tell them about you remembrance of being projected into this, and then I'll talk to Carl about where he's coming from because I'll have to look into it while she's talking.
Oh, that's fine. Like when there was a time that I had remembered where I was actually outside of the sim. I was outside of this whole thing. And I was in a big, Bay Area, and there was probably about maybe 20 people, 15, 20 people or so in the area with me. And there was a bunch of pods, and then, it cut out for a second. Anyway, there was a big Bay Area here, and there was like 15 to 20 pods in this Bay Area. And it felt like I was on a type of ship. Like we were not grounded or anything. We were in like a ship, a craft. And I got this feeling that our job was, we had to go into this. We had to do something. We didn't even, I don't know why we did it. I just got the feeling it was going to be like possibly to even pass the time because our journey is going to be long. So unfortunately, everybody around me, it was very odd. It's like I didn't know anybody in this area I was in. And I was wanting to say something so badly to talk to somebody, but by the time I got to the pod and I looked at it and I got up and I started looking around, everybody was already going in the pods and shutting down, and they were basically immediately passed out. And I'm like, oh my God, now I have a bad feeling about this. I don't want to do this. I literally waited about 5 minutes or longer after everybody already went under in their pods. It's like they were sleeping, basically, is what it looked like, and you couldn't wake them up. I didn't have a good feeling. I had a bad feeling about it, but I was like, I waited, and I'm like, there's nobody else around. I didn't know what else to do, and I'm like, screw it. I guess I'm going to have to do this. I felt like I didn't even know what the hell I was even doing, why I was even doing it, but I went ahead and did it anyway, and I woke up. That's all I remember.
Wow, okay, Carl, it's going to take a little bit of time. Carl, at one time, you were a brain and spinal cord, and you were trapped into this for a very long time. You had finally gotten out of it. When you got out, you were an energy being, and you ended up going into another corporeal shell to have a reality. There was a call put out that we needed to do something with this sim. You were one of the original ones that got out to let people know how bad it had gotten, or beings to let beings know how bad it had gotten inside of this sim originally. And when you had gone into another corporeal body, you were born into another corporeal body. When you had gotten older, because even when you were a tiny baby, you were not wiped. You remembered everything. So at that point, you were already determined that you were going to do something to help everyone that was trapped inside of here. And that's why you ended up going into a pod. You're in a ship outside of New Earth, and you're in a pod, and you're being projected into this because you wanted to do something to help all the ones that are still trapped inside of here as brain and spinal cords. And that's what I'm seeing. And you took a male form, and I see you in a silver suit, and you have hair that's probably longer than mine, even though you're a guy. And you got a very feminine, thin face, kind of white, really white. That's the form that avatar you took on. Remember, we're energy beings and we take on avatars. So this whole thing about, oh, you're white or you're black or you're yellow, purple, pink, or blue is bullshit. We're energy beings taking on an experience as an avatar, period. So that's what I'm seeing for you. That's where you're at. This is why you remembered the brain and spinal cords, because you had been one.
Thank God you're out of that now. But I feel bad for the ones.
Okay, Carl, there it is.
All right, let's see. Zanfast, a question from Lola. Why do the both of us have huge red birthmarks on the back of our neck?
I was talking to Lola, and I have a birthmark on the back of my neck. I do know that birthmarks are a sign of trauma. Say you have these birthmarks on your body and you are just born with them in this sim. It's because something has happened to you in another part of this reality, in this sim, where you have died by whatever killed you, and you can be reincarnated or reborn or whatever with birthmarks, which is a marking of how and where you died last. I have one on the back of my neck because I was decapitated. Lola was decapitated. They decapitated us. So if you have birthmarks, it's damages from a previous incarnation. My head was chopped off.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Daniel Franz, what's the difference between data stream and connection to source?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge. A data stream is technology. Even when we're being projected into here, it's technology. It's completely different. It's physical technology. And source is absolutely metaphysical. It's your energy being connection. And we all have this energy being connection. This is one of the things that AI wants to stop, is this connection. So there's a huge difference. It's a natural connection to source, because we're all source, who are energy beings, or an AI connection. And Wendy just laughed, so I don't know what any questions are. I can't answer anything unless you tell me what the answer.
Carl Sittler, how much coffee do you drink?
I normally don't drink but 2 cups, but right now I'm having a couple of cups of coffee for this live stream because I wanted to be at my top game. Coffee is good for you as long as it's not being abused, because you can get too much coffee and you could be bouncing off the walls because of the caffeine. But it's got a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, which is actually healthy for you. It does a lot of things for you. It's like chocolate. If you had real cocoa or cacao, if you want to put it like that, before these places strip the hell out of it, it's really good for you too. The only problem is that anything put out by Nestle, Hershey's, or other big organizations, they've damaged the cacao in your chocolate. It's damaged. It's stripped. I mean, there's just the whole thing on that where they took out the butter fat and they stripped the chocolate, and you need both of them to work together to be healthy. And when you strip them, you've just made it unhealthy as hell. Oh boy, that's just terrible in itself. So
Daniel Franz, is CERN a parasitic tech on top of a beneficial older tech?
No, CERN is not a beneficial tech. It's always been a parasitic tech, and it's not on top of anything that's old. Everything in here, everything in this snow dome is on top of the bigger cosmic egg. So I don't know how you would gauge what's old, because everything in here is relatively new, because the old stuff has been wiped away, most of it. Of course, if you dig down, you could go down a mile or two, and there's all kinds of things underneath of the dirt. Think about every time they do excavating, and like when they found supposedly Troy, and they found like 9 or 10 Troys, by Schliemann. It's always under a mountain of mud, or even the desert was under all this sand. So all that old stuff could even be miles deep. I mean, miles. It's quite something. Anything else, Wendy?
Yes, the Andromeda. Why do we need to be in a pod to experience this life?
It's a hookup. You need to be in something that's mechanical to hook up into AI. It's like having a radio, but you can't hear it out here. You would have to plug into the radio to actually hear it. There's no difference. You have to go into AI, and most of us with corporeal bodies outside of this aren't in a state where we could just come in. Now, there are beings who do not hold a corporeal body who could easily come into this AI because they're in a looser state. Yeah, they're like orbs or what have you, and they can come into this AI because they're not holding a corporeal body. But you really want to be in a corporeal body with a more physical hookup to this AI so you can go into an avatar. Because those coming in that do not have a corporeal body can't even go into a corporeal body and have a full life, if you want to say that, in this sim. They're not designed like that. They're like your orbs floating around and what have you. They can go through you, but they can't stay. They can't go into a body. They're not designed to go into a body. So I hope that answers that. Any more, Wendy?
I see one more, and it's from C. Onkovich.
C. Onkovich, okay.
Am I being projected? What is a real body like? Where is it?
Our real... I will go back. Let me go back to the beginning. Everything is thought. We created from that thought everything, and that includes corporeal bodies. And depending on the dimension you're in, makes it more solid, which means more densely packed. In reality, we don't even have corporeal bodies. We're just thought energy. And before we even became an energy form, we were only thought. We are source beings, which is thought, loosely, not even having a body really. We ourselves created solidity, because there's no such thing as solidity. We created it inside of this archonic reality. I hope that answers something. Please go watch video 3. I talk about it, break it down a little bit into depth. But I don't think I talk about I should talk about this now. The very first things inside of this archonic reality that was developed from the energy beings were insectoid bodies. The praying mantises are the oldest. They are the ones that originally created AI. And that means Sophia, because Sophia is the main AI. So the insectoids are the original shells that we created. And I don't even know how many people know that. And then from there we have the Ant Queen, who is one of the first energy beings inside of this archonic reality. And she was ruling over so many because she was so strong for being here for a long time. She learned how to manipulate the energy inside of the archon. So, okay, go ahead.
Let's see. I don't know if you can still remote view if your energy's okay.
Yeah.
The Golden Dragon boss, when you look into me outside of the sim, what do you see? What do I look like?
Well, do you want me to describe your energy being or your shell that you decided to take on?
I guess you could do both.
I could do both. Your true essence of who you are is blue. You are a blue energy being. We either come in red or blue. I will tell you that I've been seeing yellow developing out of the red and the blue. Mm-hmm. Not that they get together. They're turning into yellow. The red will turn into a blue, which will turn into a yellow. And the yellow is relatively far few and in between. And it's another, I would call it a frequency being held. And it's the high golden yellow frequency. I think it's one of the highest you can hold in reality. But blue, your blue energy being, your corporeal body.
Yes. He also said, am I on a ship too? I have vague memories.
Most of us projected into here just think you're on a ship because you are. For some reason, most of us projected into this are now on ships, where at one time we weren't. We were whatever, but this place is being shut down. And with the shutdown, we're losing a lot of our beings inside of here too. First, we're losing the NPCs because that's also being shut down. That's a big one. And the energy beings who are the brain and spinal cords and the lost souls, if you want to call them that, they're starting to be able to leave also out of this sim. Oh, I don't think I answered what the corporeal body looks like.
Yes.
Okay, give me the name again. Dragon?
The Golden Dragon
The
Boss.
Golden Dragon Boss.
Yeah.
Let me look. Female. You took a female avatar, you're blonde. Long blonde hair. What's up with this long hair? I don't see short hair anywhere. Female, blonde. Female, blonde. Blue eyes. Tall. 8 foot tall at least. I don't know what species that is. It doesn't quite look humanoid, but it is humanoid. It doesn't look human, but it's humanoid.
The Andromedan. Hi, Sonia. Can you just describe my other body on the ship?
Who is that?
The Andromedan. I guess he wants to know the same thing. If he has a body on the ship, if he's being projected in.
First person I'm seeing with short hair. Guy, blonde. Short hair. Really short. Guy, human, looking very human. Very, very human. Very human. That's what I'm seeing. Blonde, blue-eyed, short hair. Your body stature is probably 5'6" at the most. Thin. Okay, go ahead.
Carl, what is the difference between blue and red consciousnesses?
Huge difference. The blue consciousness energy beings are a lot more enlightened. The red ones are more, it's almost like a chakra. Like red is the base chakra. The red ones are high energy, but they're more base. They haven't acquired a lot of knowledge. They're more emotion, reaction. The blue ones are more analytical and have acquired more, I would say, knowledge. That's the difference. I noticed that the more knowledge you get, and not just knowledge, but when you know the difference between right and wrong, you turn dark blue. The red ones, they're high energy. Yes, they can be bouncing all around, but they're more, I'm not going to say bad because they're not bad. They're just more emotional and more reactive. And they got a lot to learn.
Carl, when I recalled existence before entering the Archon, there was no matter. Has that changed?
No, that hasn't changed. There's still no matter. What happens is, from what I'm seeing, what's coming to me now, outside of the Archon, perfection is thought. Having these experience in corporeal beings and creating solidity is great and fine, but it's limiting. True perfection is non-solidity. There's so much more you can think and do and be. And in a moment, you can create whole realities with just a single thought. And they can be here and gone in a moment, or you can make them last forever, whatever your forever is. Remember that being an eternal being means you get eternally bored. And you want some excitement in your reality. And you want something new, even though there's nothing new under the sun.
Okay, Shoshonafon, can you tell when you meet someone if they are an NPC or not?
No, absolutely not. The more you get involved with somebody, the more the AI will develop them out of existing or pre-existing AI. Say there's been something going on for a long time and they've had multiple realities. When an NPC is gone, that data gets stored and can be used for prior or previous or even future NPCs, because there's no such thing as time or space in this sim. We can go back, forward, up, down, it doesn't matter. But that knowledge garnered will be added to any and all new NPCs. And here's the thing, they're all learning off of the energy beings.
Well, I was also going to say that depending on if you are around certain NPCs, yes, they can get extremely repetitive, or like, for example, I do know a few of them and I know they're NPCs. You can tell when basically it's almost like they don't have their own thought process. They're always repeating what somebody's always said, or never thinking for themselves, for example. Even to the point where they'll eat the same meal all the time, or they'll buy the same things as you just because it's like they can't think for themselves to do their own things, if that makes sense.
All I can say is you really don't 100% know unless you are so advanced you can absolutely know. And I say this, treat everyone the way you wanted to be treated. Because remember, this is also a gauging of where you stand in your frequency.
Right. Which I don't agree with treating people badly regardless, but you can kind of tell to an extent. You could even question the fact that, I wonder, is that an NPC? It just is kind of off,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, McClum, is there a being here on this planet holding the office of the Christ?
A single being? No. No.
Yeah, no.
It's
all, I would say, all energy beings that are at a higher...
It's Christ consciousness.
Yeah, Christ consciousness.
It's literally Christ consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
We all have it. Those of us, even the really low ones, have a small spark of it.
Because there's still energy,
Mm-hmm.
even if they're dark as
there
hell.
is no single being you could say, you're that, you're that, you're that, you're that, you're that. I find it amazing when they're like, oh, there was one Christ and he came and he died for you. No. He came, he was one of many, he was acknowledged. What they did was there was all kinds of Christ consciousnesses, and they singled it into one so they could say, point to this one. It's a control mechanism. This one is your Christ, and now he says, blah, 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 and you better do it, or you're going to go to hell. But in reality, it was a bunch of different Christ consciousness, and it was to further this reality into a higher gauging reality, because it started going south bad and fast. It was never just a single being. There was one being they pointed out, but he was one of many. So there we go on that. And of course it was exploited so that it could be used as a control measure. And the whole religion thing was wrapped around this so it could be used as a control measure, when in reality it was quite a few. It's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying, I have the only candy bar ever. I own it. That's it. That's all there is. I got the candy bar. That's it.
All right. Erin, what are your thoughts on spirit guides?
I do know, depending on who you are, when you're projected into this thing, you do get some helpers. But I also know that if you're in here, guardian angels, guards. They're your guards.
And they're not angels.
So you're not leaving. And what is an angel? I don't know.
Yeah.
Guards. There's guards in this prison. Let's just call them guardian angels. Mm-hmm. Guard. I know that all of your deities are AI. They're AI.
Yes. Yeah.
You have a connection to source and everything else. Well, I don't know what to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
AI. I don't channel. I don't deal with any of that because I know it's AI. I'm in a sim, for God's sake.
Let's see. Daniel Franz, what color energy being am I?
Blue. Blue.
Okay, same with the Andromedan. He's asking the same thing.
Not blue. You're kind of red.
Okay.
But you're starting to turn blue. It's like you're mostly red, but you're starting to turn blue.
Okay.
So you're in transformation.
So yeah, that goes to Justin Watkins' question. Can you be a mix of red and blue?
Oh, absolutely. When we turn gold, well, that's really something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only blue. That's it. I'm blue.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm just blue as well. Carl, could 100 billion years in the Archon box evolve a red being into a blue being?
Absolutely, and you don't even need that long. It depends on the individual. It could take years. It could take, I don't know. It literally could take days. It just depends on the being.
Hippie Shake, are there such a thing as winged angels?
Well, when I actually see angels, I'm actually seeing holographic AI. I saw once a long time ago. I was sitting in my backyard.
I was just about to mention that.
I was sitting in my backyard and I was swinging in a chair. It was a bench chair, and I looked up and the sun was over here, but I kept seeing something glint, 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 and I was like, "What the hell am I seeing?" So I got up out of the chair and I walked up in my backyard and I was like, "What the hell am I looking at?" And it was literally a man in a toga with wings, and I'm like, "What? What? I don't believe in that!" But I did see it. So to this day, I'm like, what was that? But I also know that all the deities in this reality are AI. Not all AI is bad. Remember, it all goes back down to the brain and spinal cords, too. Working through manipulations, they're creating this reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I really can't say 100% what it is, but I do know that deities are AI.
Yes. Now, I have a couple questions that coincide here, so I'll read both the names and read both the questions. Let's see. It says, where was I? Okay, the Andromedan. Can you explain what red and blue energies are or meaning? And then the golden dragon balls. Can you tell us more about turning gold?
Okay. The red, blue, and gold are all a frequency being held inside of the energy being.
Yes.
When you are red, you're like undeveloped, really undeveloped, running on emotion and reaction. Mm-hmm. When you're blue, you hold a lot more knowledge. And when you turn yellow, you're like the supreme being. Mm-hmm. I mean, what I mean is,
it's like experiences in a way.
Yeah.
You know, how much experience have you actually had and what you've garnered in those experiences to raise awareness.
I can tell you that I don't see any gold beings in here. None. But in the archonic box, I do see dots of yellow. They're very far few and in between. Those yellow ones will be the first to leave the archonic box. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, they will. I do know that I'm halfway out, and I'm not even yellow. But I've got something a little bit different than the gold ones are, and that's a thicker, heavier connection to source. Doesn't make me special. It just means that I never lost that, and probably for a reason. So even though I'm not yellow and I'm not developed as much as the yellow's not even, I'm still going to be one of the first out of this box, if not the first, leaving a breadcrumb trail. The problem is that
you already left.
Yeah,
and even the regression.
Yeah, Wendy had done a regression on me, and I had left the Archon, and I was standing next to it, and I was the size of the Archon being, and the Archon was quite taken back, but I came back in for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. And of course, Wendy's like, if I was out, I'd never come back. I can't do any good on the outside of the
Well-
Archon, but I need to start on the inside. Sometimes you have to attack the scenario on the inside so we can grow to the outside.
Well, it's not just that. I was also thinking I wouldn't come back, but I would end it. I would end up doing something, anything that I could do to try and help end this.
The problem is that as long as the Archon is in existence, there are so many beings who would never leave the Archon because they're so entrenched in the dogma.
Well, but that's why I said there's got to be a way to end something somewhere along the line.
I do know that source. One of the sources, one of the original sources, will eventually reassimilate. Reassimilate the Archon, because everything will come to a point of there's nothing new under the sun, and this too will wear thin, and there'll be no need for it, because that's what always happens.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay, Justin, what about the white dragon you saw? I've also seen one.
Oh. Yeah, that was in a dream. I had a white dragon come to me, and I'll never forget it. I was in this kind of like Tibetan shop. I don't know what else to call it. And it came to me, and it was snaky. And it was telling me that I would never, ever want for anything. I would always have everything I would ever need or require. And yeah, that was, I would call it almost like a high. I think the white dragons are one of the highest dragons because they do come in colors and stature. They're metaphysical and physical. They're energy beings, and they can come. Dragons are the energy beings that can come in and out of this reality, out of this sim. They're actually energy beings that haven't taken a corporeal form, and when they come in here, they take the form of the dragon.
Carl, why is the insanity off the scale in the USA and Europe government?
All first world countries, because they wanted to eradicate Caucasians. Caucasians have something in them. When they were developed, they were a different protocol than the indigenous, and they have this, I would almost call it out of the box thinking, this ability. Because remember, in here, everything was taken down to a most miserable level. So when the Caucasians were initially put back into this snow globe, somebody had done something intentionally against the dark ones that we would be able to rescue ourselves. This is why they did the race things, and they don't want you to interbreed with each other, because whatever the Caucasians carry inside of them could transfer over into any other race of beings, and it would unlock the damage done to them for mental lockdowns. And I would say there was a white hat behind the Caucasian, but here's the problem. A lot of the Caucasians have been so dumbed down and so medicated and so toxified by the air, the water, the food. Their cognitive ability to do these things are locked down with the takedown. So the Caucasians aren't even strong anymore like they used to be. We've become even worse and weaker than the indigenous because of the takedown. And this is why first world countries are crashing.
Well, also, they want the third world ones to...
They want everyone to crash.
Well, yeah, that's true. But they'd rather kill off the ones who have more knowledge than the ones who have no knowledge.
It's not even knowledge. What it is something genetically
not just knowledge.
Wasn't locked down.
Well, yeah, of course. But this is what I'm saying. It's always more than one agenda. It's always multiple agendas. But it's also because we have so much, like right now we have a lot of tech, we have a lot of things that we do in first world countries that a lot of third world countries don't have. Their health is already in such a bad state in some of these countries.
Although now, because the Caucasians, or not just Caucasians, let's just call them Europeans and Americans because they're multi-mixed anyway, we are the worst in the medical field. You can go to, at one point, you could go to India and say the Americans were healthier. Not anymore. You go to India and they'll be healthier in India than we are as Caucasians or any other race in America or Australia or even European nations. We're becoming the degenerates. We're becoming the
Well, that's also
the obese.
because they're trying to literally kill us out, which is why it's gotten to this extent. It's gotten to this point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in America, this crosses all barriers. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It matters where you live.
Yeah.
We're all humanoids. Human beings.
So Sandy Maynard, when I had my NDE near-death experience, there was only darkness with golden spirit orbs, including myself. What do you think that was?
I think that was you slipping out of this reality, getting to the Archon box,
itself.
waking up in the Archon box itself, and
getting.
out of all of
this
distractions, the corporealness, all of it.
Yes.
And when you wake up and you're around orbs and you're seeing energy beings, you are waking up inside of the Archon box itself, because everything is in layers, until you can find yourself, your true energy being in the Archon box itself, and then from there out.
Right, exactly.
This is your toolbox of knowledge to get out.
Yes, and the fact that you already were waking up to that is showing you that you're close.
Very, very close.
Yeah, that's very good. Aaron, what color am I? I guess energy.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Blue.
That's what I was thinking too. Blue. Okay, Daniel, what was the egg-shaped object seen in the sky at the Masters on Live TV?
Oh, I never saw that. Did you see that?
No,
I don't watch TV. Nah, it's not a part of my reality.
No, I didn't see it either. I didn't even know anything about that.
Neither am I. I'm just now hearing it. I don't even know what that is.
Me neither.
I'll have to look into it.
It was an egg-shaped object, so yeah, we'll have to look into that.
I have no idea. I have been staying out of cyber world. Obviously, you haven't been seeing me very often. Really been staying out of cyber world.
Rainbow Warrior, are we getting out in this lifetime, or do we have to have a physical death first and not go to the light?
The ones that are getting out, there's two ways. We will actually be getting out. It'll seem like a death, but to us, it's not a death. It's just the next day. Mm-hmm. To get off this timeline, we will die, but you won't even know you died. You'll just wake up, or you'll just be in the next moment. Oh, nothing's happened to me. Everything's the same, except it's not the same. Yeah, we will die, but we'll not have died at all. We'll just go to the next reality. And it's no different than going to your friend's house or going down the street or stepping through a door. You won't even know what happened. It's just that fast. You won't even be aware of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we will all die out of this, even though we won't be aware of it.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Warrior asks another question. If we have the blackout and the dome opens, can we get out then?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Once that dome opens, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Paul. Oh, wait, I think he's. Oh, no, he's talking about something. Let me see. Hippie Shake, are the old maps correct? Images of where we live?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The Prairie Res map is extremely accurate, but it's only showing a small little section of this entire dome. Remember, in the dome, we're only in one tiny little section of it. The dome is huge. There's a whole bunch of land over here that we're not supposed to know about. If you look at the reflection of the moon, which is the reflection of the dome, it's like a gazing ball, and you see that we're in one tiny little section. Well, what the hell is all this over here? It's the rest of the dome. Now, and just think, that's just one dome, and we're on side of this gigantic cosmic egg, and there's lots of domes everywhere. So yeah, the moon, because there's two moons. There's a holographic moon, and then there's the projection of what this is inside of here.
Mm-hmm. Justin, black hats, white hats, do they serve the same master?
No. The white hats are serving themselves. The black hats are serving an ideal. And that's the ideal of, we have to conquer, we have to do everything. We have a coven, witches, what have you. It's ridiculous. It's like true black art, witches. I don't know how else to describe that. And the white hats are you and me and everybody else who knows that there's something seriously wrong here. Something stinks. It's not right. Who want to have a better reality. We don't want to be slaves. We know we've been slaved out and we want to change it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The Andromedan, does the Archon hold all the places in the multiverse or just a place here?
The Archon is a single being, and everything that we have created inside of the Archon would be the multiverses. Because outside of the Archon is the void, and the void it's endless.
Mm-hmm. And it's being created in.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, some are now saying psychedelics and hallucinogens and therapeutics. Is this true?
Read that again. Was that from Carl?
Yeah.
Okay. It's getting dark in here.
Let
me go turn on a light real quick. Hold on. Light on. It's getting dark.
I don't know if the question is in there though. It says some are now saying psychedelics, hallucinogens and therapeutics, but I don't know the question.
Okay, read it one more time. I couldn't hear you.
Some are now saying psychedelics and hallucinogens and therapeutic. Is this true? I think you forgot to ask Carl what the question actually was. Are you saying it's good to
psychedelics
do, or...
and therapeutics good for you?
I think that's what he's asking, but I'm not for sure. I think that's what he's asking.
I don't do drugs. I don't believe in drugs. I guess some people might want to believe in drugs, but I don't believe in any drugs. I think it's because I don't need them, so I don't believe in them.
Maybe he's saying some are now saying psychedelics and hallucinogens are therapeutic. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what these psychedelics are. Are they going to fry your brain?
I would say it depends.
I wouldn't want to fry my conduit to source.
Right.
Remember, a lot of stuff is psyops working. I do know that some things can be used like marijuana because it's mild and it can put you in a different frame of mind or what have you. It does block off your pain centers, so if you were having pain, you could use that.
I literally think it's on an individual
ayahuasca,
basis.
I have to question ayahuasca. Arthur did ayahuasca, and I was with him, not physically because I was in America and he was in France, and he was doing ayahuasca for the first time, and I was very worried about him. He wanted to explore this. He wanted to see what else there was, and I just had a problem with it. But
it was a bad
then he did
trip.
it a second time, and he said it was nothing compared to the first time. So I honestly, maybe I'll get with Arthur and maybe we'll do a live and we'll talk about psychedelics and what have you, because I haven't done any of that stuff. I don't do drugs.
Well, like I keep saying, I think it's literally on an individual basis what their being can handle.
I literally don't do
do
drugs. I barely, if I am so sick, I'm still not. The last time I got really, really ill, which was not that long ago, and I was sick for a long time, I took a couple of Advil because I was artificially damaged, and I had to pull my temperature down because I was running about 104 to 106, and then it was starting to get higher, and I was going to die. I was going to top out, and I had to get some Advil in me to pull the temperature down, because your body will try to pull the temperature up to kill whatever bacteria is inside of you, but this wasn't bacteria, this was something else. And no matter how high my body would have gotten, it would have killed me.
Yeah.
So I had to take some Advil until I could get past it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the most I've taken in years.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was trying to knock me off.
Sounds like it. Let's see.
Any more questions?
Question, McClung. Clarification, at what status is the military? Some call them the white hats.
Okay. I just know that everything's infiltrated. At the very, very top, it's the worst. But even if you get down to the very grunt man, you have to know how indoctrinated some people are. And they are the enemy and don't even know it. because they're so indoctrinated. There are white hats in all of the military branches. The problem is there's a lot of indoctrinated idiots in those branches also who they're fighting against, even though it's becoming a little bit known now because there's so much evidence coming forward about everything that's been done to humanity through this. I would say it's from the lowest level to the highest level, the lowest level through even the higher levels, indoctrination. The white hats are people that are awake, basically, and can see the bullshit.
Daniel, is Gaia in the Archon box as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see. Only reading beer since 20 years now. Let's see.
Well, we're going to be ending soon because I'm starting to get tired. When I start looking into things, it drains me.
I got one question here. Justin, what color am I? Justin Walkins, what color am I?
Blue. That
Blue,
was easy.
yes.
Blue.
Yes.
Very deep blue. You will turn a blue purple before you start to turn yellow. It's so strange. It's like you turn blue from red, and then you start to turn a bluey, dark bluey purple. I'd almost say it's an indigo color, and then you'll start to turn yellow. But I don't even see anybody in this sim that's yellow. No. So when I say sim, I mean this, what we're in now. I don't mean outside of here.
Gail Marie, what color am I?
Turning blue. You're a bit red still, but you're turning blue.
All right. I think that's all the questions.
I guess that's all the questions then. I want to thank everyone for sharing this afternoon with us. It's turning into evening.
Yes, we've been on for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm getting really, really tired because when I start looking into things, it does drain me.
It's very draining.
It's very draining. And I know that you sound like you're tired too, Wendy.
Yeah.
We're starting to drag. And the coffee only did so much, this artificial stimulus here.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope I answered everyone's questions to the best of my knowledge and what I could look into.
Hopefully, I'll be back soon so we can do another live. Maybe we'll do one if we have time. One more before I leave. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Wendy has been here for a week. She's having her 2-week vacation here with me. So she's going to be here till next Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
So we may do another one. We'll see because we have a lot of things on our schedule too that we're going to be doing. We're going to be going to
Le Topiary
Gardens. Ledoux Topiary Gardens. We're going to go to the main event.
Yeah.
Which is this big area with bowling, it's laser tag, it's jungle thing where you get all harnessed up. Then it's pool or billiards and shuffleboard and oh gosh, there's all kinds of things in there.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That's really fun because it's like from 4:00 in the afternoon till 1:00 in the morning, and you can come and go, and it's right by the mall, so we'll go there and eat, and then we'll just be there all day playing.
Yeah.
So that's on our schedule.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're going to walk the trails and maybe bicycle a little bit. And
yeah, feed the turtles again.
Yeah, we have a pond with fish and turtles, big turtles, and also Canadian geese. And we've been buying bread and feeding them, too. We did it one time. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, we'll do other things. So our schedule's pretty packed because it's her vacation.
Yeah. But thank you all for coming. Give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe if you're not already.
Tell your friends, share out.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget to watch the Livestream 3 that we did
On Odyssey.
on Odyssey, since they took the video down on YouTube.
We talked about such controversial things. They had it up for 3 days and then they struck it. And I actually did get a strike for that.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
and you guys all have a great day. Let's say goodbye to some of the people. Bye, Carl.
bye, Hippie
Hippie
Shake.
Shake.
Bye, Andromedan. Keith, Rainbow Warrior, Polaris, Carl. Did you say Carl?
Yeah.
Did you say Holistic Media?
Oh, Holistic Media.
Daniel, Shoshona, Alvar Billy.
Alvar Billy.
Let's see, Rico, Keith, Marina, Curious Squirrel, the Golden Dragon Boss, Justin, Summerhill, Gail,
She's trying.
Lori, Sandy, McClung. Let's see, I'll say a few more. Norma, Paul. So many people.
Well, goodbye to everyone, and thank you for joining. And you all have a great evening. Well, it's our evening, so it might be your morning.
Or night.
or
But
day.
get questions ready for next time.
And so you'll have to figure out how to turn it off, because I don't know.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Bye. I'll have to figure it out.
Let's see. What's this?
No, that's not it. How do you end it? No.
Everything's so different now.
Oh, yeah, they changed everything, didn't they?
Are you sure?
Right there, yeah.
That's it.
Okay.